I say and build the last, yeah. Oh, put me through the fire, a hurricane, I can stand through the storm. I ain't going nowhere, get used to me. Most folks, they ain't made this strong. Got longevity, I'm built to last. Maybe in a rush, trying to build it fast. Was steady with the process, I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last.
It take a lot to walk in my shoes, and I'm a proud never keep weak niggas round you. You thinking that they proud of you, but secretly they down on you. You thinking that they there for you cause they hanging around you. Now think about it, where you was when they found you. The same boat that they was in, y'all was drowning. But I was built off a solid foundation. I was college bound Jason, I found that y'all hate me. I think they allergic to my greatness. I think it's sad how many participate. See the haters so blatant, they not strong, they won't make it. I got the heart of an ox, I can take. See, they can't relate. How I was raised, I can't take a break. And I be catching all that shade, I can even taste it. My time valuable, I can't waste it. I'm built to last, pimping faces.
Put me through the fire, a hurricane, I can stand through the storm. I ain't going nowhere, get used to me. Most folks, they ain't made this strong. Got longevity, I'm built to last. Maybe in a rush, trying to build it fast. Was steady with the process, I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last.
True story. This past year was a test for me. I had a lot of bullshit that was stressing me. For 9 months, I was living in my mama's house, sleeping on my mama's couch, wondering when I'ma bounce. My oldest daughter made me feel she ain't love me. Relationship had blatantly turned ugly. My old lady plus my other 2 kids, all in a sister crib with nowhere to live. How the hell we get to this, I don't know. Mama taking money from me all on the low. It's hard being a man when you're trying to provide, doing all that you can, but the stronger survive. Then I realized I was built for adversity. The real gon' relate, that's why Blake got a verse from me. Soon I got a phone call saying I've been approved. God say, pack your bags, get your family and move.
Ladies and gentlemen, controllers in the building with Body to Beat Global.
We are in the building. Most folks, they ain't made this strong. Got longevity, I'm built to last. Maybe in a rush, trying to build it fast. Was steady with the process, I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last.
My journey's been a long ride. All these potholes in the ground, you know I don't lie. You know the pressure that it brings when you're trying to spread your wings, but the weight make you don't fly. I done heard the birds chirping moonlight. I was from the curb in the noon fights. Niggas all broad in the daylight. We ain't bad niggas, we don't sleep right. Wake them up neutral, they be sleeping on them. Them elevated thoughts that be leaking on them. See them trying to spread it like a vat, so instead of taking that, I can show you how to keep it dormant. I done been in wars with the devil. I can train you, it's nothing for me to help you. He don't want this foot up in his ass, cause he know I'm built to last. In the past, he just
put me through the fire, a hurricane, I can stand through the storm. I ain't going nowhere, get used to me. Most folks, they ain't made this strong. Got longevity, I'm built to last. Maybe in a rush, trying to build it fast. Was steady with the process, I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last. That's why I'm built to last.
Ladies and gentlemen, Body to Beat Global.
All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody. Hey, we're back. Good to see everybody. Y'all up in here. Whoa. My goodness. Everybody is up and running just the way we do it. That's good. I want to welcome everybody to tonight's live. We got two cases we're going to talk about. And if you were present in any one of those two cases that we covered, you know we did some deep diving. And we are going to continue with tonight's special Q Squared live on the Daniel Robinson case, 25-year-old now, who's been missing out of Buckeye, Arizona. And we found some extraordinary things in this particular case. Indeed, we have. So we're going to be covering some information on that, getting some updates, as well as doing some updates on Classic and Sincere Pettis, aka Orrin and Orson West, the two California toddlers that went missing December 21st of 2020 out of California. So we got a lot to cover. We're going to get into it tonight. Thank you all for showing up and joining us again. We got some peoples up in the house here. 12-step woman in blue holding it down. Much love to you. We got Brooklyn in the house. Cord cutters. We send a love out to you. Yeah. Definitely. Now, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, that is. So good to see Brooklyn in the house with someone who used to live in Brooklyn. You know, that East New York action. Anybody's familiar with Brooklyn, East New York? No, I am. Good to see you. Good to see you. Jennifer Nobles is in the house. Much love to you, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us. Anytime we do an update on Classic and Sincere, all of our supporters for the boys gather around. They know that certain content creators have been covering the case pretty much I can't say from day one for me, but has covered the case to a specific point to where, there's some serious folks out here that want justice for both Classic and Sincere. So they know one of those content creators is myself and several others that I know who have been covering this case. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome. We've got Boosh in the house with sunglasses and popcorn. Welcome, Boosh. Welcome back. Lydia, welcome. Oh, well, Lydia got timed out for some strange reason. But if you're still with us, Lydia, welcome. Hope everything is good on your side. Leanne Ferguson is in the house. Welcome. That's good. You're here, listening, can't respond, cleaning the bathroom. You shouldn't be cleaning no bathroom this time of night, wherever you are. But good to have you as always. Miss Jan is in the house. How are you? We got the hearts and the 8 balls up. Good to see you. Much love to you, Miss Jan. Thank you so much for your love and support as well. We got our heavy supporters up in the house tonight. Tanya M is in the house. Much love to you. Welcome, welcome. Leslie B holding it down in blue, moderating tonight next to 12-step woman. See how the ladies get in here and hold it down real quick because they know we're about to get into something tonight. Good to see you, Mr. Leslie B, another heavy supporter of our channel. Thank you so much. Let's see who else. T. Sophia is in the house. Welcome, Miss T. Sophia. She has been a very vital aspect of our investigative research on the Daniel Robinson case. So, welcome, Miss T. Sophia. Thank you for joining us. We've got Miss Tracy in the house. Back at it again, Miss Tracy. Welcome. Cha-Cha B is in the house. Respect and love to you. Gymnastics 101, as always, welcome. Grandmother Crone is in the house. Welcome. Majestic 716 is in the house. All right. We got our folks coming in hard and heavy. Coming up to give their support to the work that we've been doing. We've got Miss Anna in the house. Much love to you, Miss Anna, another heavy supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Always here, too. Always here. Much love to you, Miss Anna. Oh, my goodness. We've got Miss MTGV TV in the house. Make this go viral. Welcome. Got my 8 balls up. Yeah, we got the 8 balls up. Definitely welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. I know you've been busy over there on your channel. You know, time to take a break. I mean, you could take a break, you know, little one. You know, I know that, you know, you got a lot of things cooking and shaking and quaking over there on your channel. But it's good to take a break. You know, I'm glad you made it. Absolutely. Make this go viral. TV. Doing some special things with some special content creators called the Viral Team. Team Viral. If you don't know about Team Viral, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Welcome. Who else we got up in here? My goodness. We got the chat floating. Ishtar is back. Kimmy Craig, welcome. As you are. It's about the 3rd or 4th time I've seen you come into the channel. Onto the channel. Thank you so much. Majestic 716. As always, we're going to be doing some changes up on the channel. Most certainly, Lady Love is in the house. Oh, my goodness, Lady Love. Miss Cajun is in the house. Look out. She over there smiling right now. Lady Love, how are you? Thank you for joining us. Special content creator, Miss Lady Love, on her channel. You go there and I guarantee you, you'll have a good time on her channel. Thank you so much for joining us. KK's is in the house. We got some people here tonight. So tonight, as we always do on Q Squared, it's been a little bit. Most folks have been looking around for Q Squared since our last Q Squared with Miss Q. And as you know, from our previous lives, we had a little bit of a computer issue on my side. And John Q decided to have some coffee while he was working on the Daniel Robinson case. And I think it was a Sunday afternoon. I was tightening up my schedule for the week. And all of a sudden, for some strange reason, John Q knocks his cup of coffee with his whipped cream on his computer laptop. And it blew my sucker out. I was tight. Anybody that, well, you as a content creator would know, for those of you who are, you spill something on your computer, you're a dynamic work platform, and that baby goes out. Yeah, you're going to be livid. So I was tight. And that's what prevented me from being online for at least a couple of weeks up until I got out of the month of February, to say the least, and did some shopping around looking for a brand new laptop and some other things, but I was able to locate one, set it up. Now, those of you who forgot what it's like to set up a brand new computer, first time turning it on, you got to go through a long tutorial and all this stuff to say yes and no and start to put in your preferences and whatnot. So yeah, so we had fun doing that, but it's good to be back. I'm still working on some things that I haven't touched on the computer. All I wanted to do was get up, running, and get my live back. We didn't lose any of the content because I have a backup. Good thing for backups. So if you have a backup drive, it's always good to always have that hooked up. Never know if you're going to spill coffee and whipped cream on it, or whatever it is that you like to drink. Don't keep it too close to your workstation. Okay, your lessons learned. Absolutely. So good to see everybody. So tonight we will be joined in its entirety by Miss Q and also Mr. David Robinson. I may have an additional special guest jump up. I sent some links out. We shall see if we can make that connection tonight. But those of you who have not been familiar with the Daniel Robinson case, it's been an extraordinary case to follow, to say the least, and an extraordinary one to investigate. And when we do a deep dive investigation on my channel, I start to look at the foundation and the essence of a story that comes out. Somebody goes missing, whatever the foundation of the story is. We found this one very interesting, and it was brought to my attention by Miss Q to look into. This was back in the month of October when we were wrapping up the Summer Wells Reward Marathon. And she brought to light some things that piqued my interest, along with a police report that she was able to obtain. She sent that to me, and I began reading it during the course of closing out the marathon. And I found some very interesting things in the police report that I said, okay, I'll begin to look into certain things. I began to do my research, locate materials for it. And I said, what a damn shame. Here we believe that we have folks called law enforcement out here serving the public, to protect and serve is what they're supposed to do. Nothing else. But obviously, over the last, if you've been around long enough, and obviously most of you have, 25 years of police law enforcement activity has just been, let's just say, something that we would all desire to change across the country. Most certainly. These folks have done the opposite of what they're supposed to do. And we've been finding story after story after story. Miss MTGV TV, Make This Go Viral, she's covered a lot of the stories that deal with these kinds of activities, and she gives a very, very good premiere and highlight to a lot of these different stories. If you're not familiar with Miss MTGV TV, definitely subscribe to her channel, and you'll be enlightened. And some of those stories that come off of her channel are being deep dive investigated. Obviously, this channel does it. Miss Queen Talks Crime. Um, Wonderful, wonderful content creator who I had the privilege of being live with on our last live covering Classic and Sincere. Does an excellent job doing deep dive case investigations on her channel. If you're not subscribed to Miss Queen Talks Crime, please do so. And you will find that we start matching notes when we come across these cases. And when our notes start to match and we can collaborate on sharing our notes and developing special investigative lives, such as the ones that I've been doing on my channel, then we can start to make better connections, make better references, and start to piece together a lot of what's been going on, whether it's law enforcement, whether it's the parents, whether it's the children, whether it's the uncle or the aunt, the niece, the nephew, the brother, the sister, the cousin. All this stuff revolves around family life, daily life, in a lot of these stories. And some of them are just hard to explain altogether. Makes no sense. That which doesn't make any sense, you try to make the best sense out of it because it happens. And it's a part of our reality. You know, people are just losing it in a lot of these different cases, and they're involving their children, or the children in some way, shape, or form are involved. As for Classic and Sincere, we know what happened, at least today. You know, unfortunately, I was hoping and praying that we wouldn't hear words like we heard over the last week or so regarding them not being with us anymore. I was truly hoping that they were still with us. They were just being held up by some nefarious person that just couldn't get it together for themselves, and decided to involve two young toddlers in a way that we've never seen before. But that's changed now. But we'll get into that as we proceed with tonight's live. So thank you all for being here tonight. I've been doing some shopping around, and I see that we've had some content creators working hard on their channel. Miss Yunu is working hard on her channel. Miss Lady Love is working hard on her channel. Miss At It Again Media is working hard on her channel. Mr. Boss Blake obviously is always working hard on his channel. We've had an opportunity to spend some time with Mr. Boss Blake during our Grown Folks Talk. Had a good time there. I was able to make a connection with a content creator covering, to this day, the Kanika Jenkins case. Okay. On her channel, and if you're not familiar with Chloe Overa or Cassie Overa, she's covering the Kanika Jenkins case to this day. A woman who has scrutinized a case like I have never seen this long. 5 years into this case, she's still out there. She's still plugging away. We were able to compare some notes based on video surveillance footage, as well as some of the police statements that were made by the Rosemont Police Department out of Illinois. And Kanika Jenkins, for those of you that may not know, was a 19-year-old that was found in an industrial commercial kitchen freezer in a 4.5-star hotel called the Crown Plaza Hotel out in Rosemont, Illinois, back in 2017. And that case right now, not a criminal case, but a civil case brought about by the family, is still looking and seeking justice for Kanika's passing from that event. And so, she's still working at that. Content creators out there, Miss Queen Talks Crime. She's covered, matter of fact, today she just released some information about Classic and Sincere. She's covered the Summer Wells case, Jelani Day's case. She's doing some deep diving on her channel and doing a terrific job. But tonight we're going to be getting into a case that has also won my heart, like the Kanika Jenkins case, like the Cash Gernon case, Classic and Sincere's case, Summer Wells, Micaiah Bryant, and a number of other cases. We're still looking to do some work on the Kendrick Johnson case and the Jelani Day case. I spoke about that on our previous live. Those things are coming up because justice needs to be served for those cases, all of them, a lot of them. And as we proceed, new cases come up and so on. But we can only do but so much. And it's good to see that there are content creators that are out there doing good work on their channel, bringing to light not only these cases, but also bringing to light information and bringing awareness onto social media so that we can be aware of what's going on out there. And so, with that said, I want to do something special, in covering the Daniel Robinson case tonight. For most of you that have been with me doing that, we have covered a number of lives covering the elements of that case. We've come across some extraordinary information in our investigation. And hopefully when Mr. Robinson gets a moment, he is in a Zoom meeting right now that he's finishing up. And just let me know that he'll be joining us very shortly. But meantime, in between time, I have a special guest joining us for a special Q Squared tonight, covering both these cases. And this content creator has done extraordinary work, not only in the background that, he is definitely the artist of all artists when it comes to music, but also when it comes to bringing awareness to such as the cases that I've talked to you about. He does excellent work, and he always asks the right questions. And questions in any case always leads to the answers. Some of the answers are direct, and those you get, and there's some you have to wait for. But the question still remains. And as long as the question remains, it's always a good place to start whenever you're looking at anything. That said, I bring to you my brother, number one, like no other. Mr. Boss Blake is in the house tonight.
What's happening, John? What's going on, my brother?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right, man. Glad
That's
to be
good.
here, man. Glad to be here. Appreciate the invite.
Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Yes. Do I have an echo on your side or my side? Is that me or you?
I don't think it's me.
Okay. I like your background, man. You moved?
Yeah, I stay moving, man. Gotta move around, man.
Oh, that's now you're in the condominium over there, I see. Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my office right now, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I'm right here in New York. You don't even know it, bro.
Oh man, is that the 33rd floor you've been telling me about?
Penthouse, baby. Still right here in Georgia. Have you. Appreciate you, man.
Nah, I know. And it's good to have you. And I know that, you and I have spoken about the Ahmaud Arbery case and spent some time, covering not only that case and the dynamics of investigating it, but, to see what happened in that jury when the trial came about was extraordinary, to say the least. Yes. And I pray and hope that Classic and Sincere gets that same result.
Yes, they got to stay on them, man.
Yeah.
I know Ro, she's been very vital in the case, and boots on the ground and things like that. You have to apply pressure, regardless of you think it's an open and shut case. You got to keep pressure on law enforcement, the government officials, to make sure that they're being fair about everything. And that's one thing I can say about Miss Wanda, Ahmad's mother. She wasn't having that shit, man. She wasn't having it. She was there every day of the case. Anytime they had to go to court for whatever reason, she was there. And definitely, when Grandmaster Jay came down here and did what he did, it lit a fire in our city, and she kept it going. So, and with the Orson and Orrin case, I just hope who's ever pushing, keep pushing. Keep pushing. Don't let up. Apply pressure. And keep God involved as well. Because with God, there ain't nobody gonna get away with nothing because he sees all. He sit high, he watches low. Always remember that.
Yeah, most certainly. And welcome Aquahoma to tonight's live. Aquahoma, one of our major supporters of the channel. Much love to you, Miss Aquahoma, for being here. All of my moderators are in the house holding it down. And obviously, as you can see, Mr. Boss Blake, you can see that Miss 12-Step Woman is in blue, holding it down over here.
A sub of the month.
Now, 12-Step was subscriber of the month for the month of what? February, right? On your channel?
Correct. 12 is amazing. She's solid as they come. And one thing I do respect about her, she don't mind making a mistake so she can learn. And she's very humble and consistent. I know you love that word, John. She's everywhere.
Oh, yes.
So shout out to 12, man. Salute. Shout out to Team Viral in the building as well. And everybody who spoke to me that ain't speak back.
Absolutely. Yes. And yes, everybody's shouting you out in the chat room. And they love you. They love your music. They love your vibes. They love grown folks. They love, cousins and conversations. I mean, you got it going on over there on your channel, man. So they love you. You got much love
y'all too. For real.
Definitely. And we got the Brooklyn cord cutters in the house.
Shout out to Brooklyn.
Another content creator I'm sure you may be familiar with.
Yeah, I know Brooklyn. Met him in a network and grow with Team Viral. And ever since then, he's been around. So salute to Brooklyn. Salute.
That's great. Nah, it's good. It's good to see that the beginning of this year, covering these cases and what content creators are doing is a very good thing. They're starting to collaborate. They're starting to get together, starting to pull together their talents in really creating a community, a better environment, especially for those folks that are looking for good content on YouTube. And it's good to know that I'm coming across that aspect now taking shape and form, is one of the things that I've always thought about, content creators coming together and really, really forming a good community where when we have cases like this, such as the Daniel Robinson case or the Classic and Sincere case going on, we can all share that information to bring awareness on a bigger scale than just one of us trying to do it, So
Agreed. I definitely agree with
good to
that.
see that.
When people just don't understand, when you come together, you make more power moves than an individual. But some people just want to get the credit just for themselves, and it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the victims. You know what I'm saying? The family of the victims. We should
Right.
team up to help them. Stop worrying about how many people you had in your life. If you had 5 people that all 5 paid attention, you just reached 5 more people. That's how I see it, man.
Right. Right. And so in covering the Danson case, which we're going to be getting into right now, this has been an extraordinary case for Mr. David Robinson. Now, he had to leave South Carolina, his hometown, on June 26th to begin a journey that no parent would ever think that they would ever think about doing. And that's
Right.
going to look for your child that's missing in another state. And to see the journey that he's been on, and also being a part of it, uh, it really touches the heart to see a parent, a parent's love, a parent's courage, a parent's strength, their fortitude. I mean, boldly in your face, uh, in a way that it could leave you speechless, and to know that we've been working together with Mr. David Robinson in the background, uh, just chopping these little pieces that have come out this case up. Miss Q, myself, Miss Unu, the Renegade, Miss T. Sophia, and a host of us has gotten together, collaborate on helping Mr. David Robbins try to locate his son, Daniel Singh, at Buckeye, Arizona, on June 3rd of just last year. And to see what one individual has to go through and to make up the difference on what law enforcement should have done, should be doing, and should be damn sure in the front of this thing. You see Mr. David Robinson handling all of that and much more, looking for his son, And so
Right.
I'm just very proud and privileged and honored to know that, the work we're doing to try our best to help and assist in bringing him closer to finding Daniel is most certainly the goal and work of this channel, just like it is on your channel, this channel, and a host of other channels that we're working with. So uh, without any more delay, I'm going to bring up Mr. David Robinson to share with us a little bit about the story as to how this unfolded. For those of you who are brand new, just coming into tonight's live and learning a little bit more about the story, and to give us some updates as to his current progress, where things stand, and then give us some new developments as to what he's doing and what's coming up. So, with that said, I'm going to bring up Mr. David Robinson.
Hello, how you doing? How you
Doing
doing today?
good, Mr. Robinson. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Doing okay. Thank
Doing
you for
very
having me.
good.
How you doing, Mr. Robinson?
How you doing,
Yes.
sir?
Thank you for
All right.
Bossman, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
No problem, man.
So I know that you're just coming off of another computer Zoom meeting and whatnot. You've been very busy, and I'm just glad we're able to get you back on and to talk with you about your story once again and your current progress. I know you've been on YouTube, you've been on Facebook. You're starting to get the word out like no other that I have seen, and you're doing a great job with the early morning Q and A's that you have on your YouTube channel now. Please help find Daniel. And could you just share with us a little bit about, what you've been currently doing and how your channel is evolving and bringing awareness to your son's case?
Yes. First, Mr. Q, thank you for having me here. Yeah, I'm grateful to be here. Yes. As everybody know, I've been out here trying to find my son since June 26th. It's been a hard travel, especially trying to keep things afloat. The desert out there is very large. So to help keep things going, oftentimes I have to reach out to the public. You guys, like yourself, like you were saying in the introduction there, you guys in the background doing a whole lot of work. Help. It's a team effort. So I'm really grateful for you guys when you help out like that. Like I said, I'm reaching out to the community for different reasons. One of the things I decided to do was the Q&A, and that's because everybody invested in my son's case. Some of that went national. I'm really grateful for that. Some type of attention for my son's case, and to keep it going, like I said, the Q&A is helping with that. People have questions. They need to get it from the source. There's a lot of misinformation out there, so I want to make sure people are clear about that. And also, it helps me to bring awareness to my son's case by people coming in on there and sharing the story. It also get current events. Like I have this the kind of like visual that's coming up on Saturday here at 6:30 here in Phoenix, and give me a chance to talk about those things, current events, what I'm doing, like I say, out there in the desert. We just finished conducting two searches on two wells. We was going for the other two, what we thought at the time was wells, but actually they're mines. We currently, when I say we, is the company I'm working with, currently to check those mines also. So things are looking up. As we're getting information and stuff like that. Like I said, any father, you guys, you both, so for your child, I don't know, you have, Mr. Bossman, I don't know if you have children, but for children, you go out and you do anything for your children, and you gonna make sure they get the justice they need. Somebody tell you they're not going to go out there and search for your son or your children to help out in any kind of way, you find ways to do it yourself. I'm not waiting on nobody. I have to sit down and I'm going to put my hands on my legs or wait and fold my arms and hope somebody do something for me. I have to make a move. So my son is dependent on me and he needs me. So grateful. That's what's going on right now. Just really, like I say, this Q, trying to keep this YouTube channel going up so I can put out the information out there. Along while trying to get that support, getting things like this forensics done on the vehicle, all that stuff scrubbed. And just like you suggested to me, that company out there in New York to get that cell phone done first. That's what's being done now, getting the cell phone done, and then work on other areas after that point.
Hey, John.
Yes.
You don't mind if I ask a question, do you?
Oh, go right ahead, Mr. Boss Blake.
First, I want to say I definitely salute you as a man, first and foremost, but most definitely as a father, because how long you've been on this journey looking for Daniel, man, and all the obstacles that was placed in front of you. You never stopped, you never gave up, you kept pushing. So I got to give you the utmost respect and say salute to you. And I'm definitely praying, and hopefully we can find some type of ending to it. I understand, you say it's just a recovery now, and I understand why you say that. But what I want to know is, I heard you say a while ago when they found Daniel's car, a vehicle, they said you needed to move it or you needed to have it towed. And correct me if I'm wrong, Was that told to you prior to them even? And I know you had to be the one to ask them to do the fingerprints and all that. But
That's
the
right.
fact that they told you that, did that strike something in you that's like, they're not gonna help me?
Well, that was right after, I was just stunned. I'll be honest with you, boss man. When I saw that vehicle, I'm not a crime man. I'm not a crime man at all. It takes a lot for me to do that. But when I saw that vehicle, I was at that point, you know, uh, and I wasn't being smart about it. That detective was asking me to touch the vehicle for that reason. Hey, go over there and open the door. I'm sure they want me to put my hands on it. I didn't.
Right.
It wasn't me being smart at the time because I was mentally gone. Seeing my son's vehicle like that for the first time, knowing that he was in that thing, and don't know where he was at. So I just couldn't move. I couldn't physically move. That's what that was all about. Like you said, he decided to do that. Gave up when I told him, hey, look, I'm ready to get out of here. And then, like I said, he said, hey, you need to get this vehicle out here today. If you don't, we'll have it towed away. You got to pay storage fees. It didn't really dawn on me, like you said, until I got home. Because they gave me 3 days. I talked to them, and then I said, hey, look, man, I'm not from here. Give me 3 days. I'll figure something out. Within those 3 days, I was able to sit at home, and I replayed all that stuff like you were saying. And I did realize them guys wasn't doing anything. I knew they were doing anything from day one when they told me the day after my son was missing that they wasn't going to go out there. He's a grown man. He can leave if he wants to, that type deal. So when that happened that day, yes, that made me angry. I had some connections on the background who was able to secure a meeting with that whole staff, the whole department. And that's when, like you said, I asked for those forensic work. I took a NAACP observer with me, and recorded the meeting because I don't, like you said, I knew they weren't gonna do anything. But I had to push them. I needed at least try. That's what I had as in terms of law enforcement at the time, so I had to go with that.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no problem.
See that Miss Leanne Ferguson had asked a question in regards to, I believe CM had mentioned something about he was going to get a hold of you to do the Bardo blood testing to be done on Daniel's car. Did he ever get a hold of you?
I don't even know who that is.
I think CM is Chris Madonna, mistaken.
No, I haven't. Last I spoke
from the interview room.
Yeah, last time I heard from him was at the interview room. I did an interview with him in the interview room, and that's the last time I heard from him. I haven't heard from him in the time in the background or anything like that about any blood testing or anything like that. Nothing. No.
Okay. Because I know that he was very interested in working with you to try and see if he can help in any way, shape, or form. And I was under the impression that he was helping things move along for you in regards to some of the forensics that you were hoping to get done while you were out there, on your weekend searches at the same time. So hopefully he'll get the message. Somebody will reach out to Chris Madonna and maybe email him or send him a message to say that you're still interested in working with him, obviously, right?
Yeah, he can call me and we can talk about that and discuss how you can help, helping my son's case. Definitely that.
Right.
If I have his number, I'll reach out to him.
Okay.
So I can't remember if I have his number listed somewhere in that public phone or not, but I can look that up too.
Right. Now I know that alongside with Chris Madonna, you've got the Grizzly team over there with Gisela working with you. They've done some extraordinary work in helping to post videos and bring awareness, and also helped you to develop your YouTube channel to get things going in that department. So we send much love to Gisela and the Grizzly team for supporting and working with you and everything. They've done extraordinary work. And when she said I could use either a thumbnail that I was using early in the beginning of the case, I just felt like, wow, this is good, because here you can work with other content creators covering the case. And, as long as we give them the credit, and as long as we're, working alongside them and not trying to hog anything or anything away from anybody, it just, is a dynamic thing to work with another content creator, So the Grizzly team, much love to you.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Thank you for them too.
Mr.
Right.
Boss Blake, did you have any additional questions? Because I know, when Mr. Boss Blake and I, are in the background on the phone, we can chop it up a little bit, when it comes to this case or any other cases that we have conversations on. I always say he's the man that asks the right questions to get down to the nitty gritty, which is always the why. He always points in the direction of the why. And so he wanted to know a lot about, what I was doing, and a lot of things in the why category. Why did he go missing? I don't get it. Where's the motive in maybe doing some harm to Daniel? We were just chopping it up and whatnot. So he was in his studio when I caught him, and I said, Mr. Blake, are you free tonight? I'd love to have you on the panel and, connect with Mr. Robinson on, his case and whatnot. And he said, John, I'll be there. So
I appreciate it coming on.
That's Boss.
That's right. I think you muted out.
Thank you.
He's muted.
I tend to do that sometimes.
That happens. That happens.
But when it comes to, what you have found for yourself, and it's a shame that you had to do it for yourself. And I don't ever point any fingers, because, I don't want to lead nobody a way that they shouldn't be led. But have it ever crossed your mind that if they're treating me like this, it has to be a reason behind it?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to point fingers at them. I have. I ain't gonna lie to you, I have, but I'm not gonna do that here.
Right.
What do you think when it's like, why didn't I help me? Like, have you ever said, I need to start looking into this or looking into that? Have that ever crossed your mind?
It always crossed my mind. I'm a person that look at it every angle. Of course, some people would say, hey, Mr. Robinson, you're biased. I need to be biased. This is my son. I'm going to take care of that. But at the same time, I have a brain. I can look at a situation. I can take that out. I'm former military. That's what we do, first of all. But like I said, I don't rule anything out or anybody. I investigate the police. You know what I'm saying? This deal with my son. So, they're not off limits for me, to look into them too. So I don't say, I'm not, like I said, accusing anybody anything, but I look into everything. So I'm not holding back on who's involved. I don't care who they are. If I can find out about that information, I will go after it. So that's what I'm looking for. If it do cross my mind, things like that cross my mind all the time. People have reasons for everything. From one action, that's a reaction. So people react a certain way based on something they know or things like that. So yes, I look into every direction and every possibility. So my son is brought back to me. I'm still gonna look. I want those answers and find out why. You know what I'm saying? Just like Mr. Q said about USO questions, why? I'm asking why. Why this happened to my son? That type deal.
Just a couple more questions. Now, I did see your video because I follow the Twitter page, and I see that you did a search in one of the wells, and I think the end of the video you was getting ready to search in the second one. Now, if I missed it, you already put that information out there. My apologies. How did that go, or did you get to it?
Yeah, I was able to do both. Both wells. The well that my son was last seen, I just happened to pop in the wrong thumb flash drive when I was doing the video on I think you're talking about on the Q&A. But that was the second well that I was showing on that one. But that first well where my son was actually last seen, we was able to do both. But that one where he was at last seen, that was a lot. That wasn't as deep as the one that I ended up showing on the feed. That one was almost 1,000 feet deep. And yeah, it was really deep. The other one only came down to like I think like 700 feet for the one that my son was last seen. Went down there. The first one where my son was last seen was clear. Just go straight down. Made it down to the bottom. But the one that I showed on the feed, that's the one I had the question. That's the reason why I put it on. I'm glad it was on the feed because I did have the questions about what was in that well. Those wells should have been clear going down. The man, the company I was working with, he was surprised, he amazed to see a fence post down in there, you know, with the cement on one end down in there, and on top of that was a wood plank. Then they took the piping and stuck that down in the wells. You know, so like what's all this trash and what's all the stuff that's placed down there as if the holding something down there or pressing something down. So those are type things that was questionable that I'm looking to. And then we get down to the bottom. There was something that was really suspicious there. So yeah, but like you said, my job is to do what the Buckeye Police Department didn't do. You know, it took them forever. They never did search the well site where my son was last seen. Never been there. Lieutenant Angel said it on the live with the Grizzly True Crime. Never been there to do that well site. So when they came out to that second well site, this one here that Mr. Q showing, they came out there to honor my request for them to be out there and bring cameras and also the cadaver dogs. I promise you, I took a picture of the cadaver dog. The dog looked like a family pet. It was real fluffy, furry, and white. I'm not sure. I asked them guys, I said, hey, look, I need paperwork on that dog, because that dog it looks suspect to me, like somebody's pet. I mean, literally. And so, you know, it's okay with that. The guys went down to the well, this well that you're seeing right here on the screen. I thought they was going down in the water like I asked them to and search this well. The guys only went to the surface of the water and pulled back out and said, hey, your son ain't there. They was a little uptight that the camera got a little water on it. We call that a completed job. So I don't like half jobs, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm sure, I don't know if you know y'all military, but we don't have to do a job. And that's half doing the job. And when I saw that, I didn't want to put it out in public. But I was really mad. I was mad because it's a half job. I didn't want to come off as I'm bashing the police, so I just let it slide. But in the meantime, I was able to secure a company that actually does inspection on the well. In the background was talking to the owners of the well, who in turn told me they didn't want me touching their wells anymore. But they ended up making a deal with us. We had to prove they had insurance, and also had to the company that did this footage here was giving them free inspection. So there's a win-win for them. They're getting a free inspection of their well, and at the same time, I get to search it for my son. And that's what's going on in the background.
All right. My last question, you don't have to answer, but how is his mom holding up?
Well, you know, me and her is divorced. She have a husband. I'm sure he's there to help her along that area. But you know, when I do hear from her, yeah, of course she'll say she's taking it really hard. You know, I think anything with a mother is expected, but I would like to see her here on the front line, and also here to check on her son. So just waiting on her. But right now, when I do get to hear from that side there, yeah, she's not really. Of course she'll be feeling upset about
as expected. Yeah, as expected. I appreciate that, man.
Oh yes. But yeah, I tell you, the siblings just taking it just as hard. You know, they have one. She's here in Phoenix, and the other one's in a different state. You know, they're in different states. So, you know, they taking it pretty rough themselves. Of course.
Understandable.
That's right. All right, Mr. Could have put that footage on there. I saw you started on the well. Taking it down there. I'll think about adding that second well to the Q&A in the morning. So if you guys are coming to that Q&A, you can probably see that too. Just added that footage like I did before. Just let it play out while doing the Q&A. so people can get an idea of what it's like to search the well. I was in hopes to get the mine search today. I was waiting on that crew to call me today. They were trying to put that team together. Mine's a little different. It's a wider deal. I mean, it's really wide. I didn't realize those were mines. It goes really deep. It goes at least about 200 feet deep before you even hit some water. Water shouldn't be in the mines, of course, but over time, the mines been there for a long time. Over the years, I'm sure they start filling up with rainwater,
Right.
letting down there, and we don't know how deep that money runs, how deep that water runs. It'd be just like those well sites. It could be 1,000 feet deep or even on farther. So we just don't know. So what they're gonna do is get this harness down, get those guys rappelled down to a loft area, and then run the cameras down in that water as far as they can. But if those obstructions are there to kind of prevent them from doing so. So one thing we noticed with one of the wells, just one of them, one of the mines, whoever built that mine had a pumping system down in there for a reason, I'm sure. So we can pump some of that water out. We can get that thing running, pump the water out of there, and then they can go farther down in that mine. So right now, working with BLM, I have to get in contact with them a little farther, get the kind of the okay in the sense to go down to those wells, those mines.
Oh, over the time that you've, I guess from day one, since you was notified that your son was missing, from the day that you seen his vehicle to now, have you come to any type of conclusion on what you think happened or what you feel that happened to your son? You know what I'm saying? Because we all, as far as I know, dealing with John Q and Miss Q, they provide a lot of information to help. John do a lot of research along with the rest of the crew, like and several others like Renegade Patriot. From the information that you've researched to the information that John and the crew researched, is there anything that stick out in your head that make you say, I'm leaning toward this is what happened?
Well, for me, it was confirmation. The things I know now, the information I gathered, and also provided by Mr. Q and some others, this is confirmation for me. I look at the scene. I'm not an expert, but there's such things even like he probably had to change the clothes or something. Everything on his body on the ground. Say, oh, he may have changed the clothes, but how many times you change clothes and you take your underwear and socks off too? Just change your clothes. You'll leave those items on and just change your clothes.
Right.
Unless they was real soaked or something going on, I don't know. But other than that, there's nothing suggesting 118 degrees, 120 degrees that you were so soaked or whatever that you was taking everything off and put something different on. I don't know. I don't know if soaked from sweat or what, but I couldn't see all of that. But there's no evidence of that. So just look at the scene based on also what I know about my own son. His ability to call his family and let us know what's going on. Anytime Daniel make a trip, he's a spontaneous guy. He make trips, but he'll let us know where he's going. Even if he's in the middle of that trip, he say, I'm gonna let you know where I'm going. That type deal. Just even with that kind of stuff and knowing my son, at day one when he was missing from that job and we didn't hear from him, that phone was ringing. We called and the phone was ring for almost a full day before the battery, I guess, died and go straight to voicemail. I knew something was wrong. There was no doubt about it. I knew something had happened, and Daniel just won't do that himself. So somebody had some involvement with it. But it just everything else, like I said, just confirmation for me. So get those answers, but it's confirmation.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Most definitely. John, you back, John? I see you fell off for a second, bro. Hopefully he back. Oh, it's on again.
That well footage.
If you need my help, John, let me know. If you need me to share my screen or whatever, let me know. Let's take a look at the chat. See if anybody else in the chat may have any questions.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want to tell everybody thank you too for supporting. For my son, sure sharing information about the case. Just showing interest, really, because this is not a one-person deal. I get it. People say, "Hey, Mr. Ross, you're doing such great," but men, that's what we do for our children. That's what mothers will do. But just speaking from a man's standpoint, you know, men, we're protectors of our family and our children, no matter how old they get. You know, saying it doesn't matter. You know, he's a son to me. You know, he's a grown man, but he's a son to me. And you know, I'm responsible. You know, he's my responsibility. I'm gonna make sure he's okay. And if my son can't talk for himself, I'm talking for him. You know, I represent standing that gap, and that's what we do as men. And we have to, you know, have to do that. That's first of all, I love my son. Second of all, it's my birthright to be there for my son. So that's what we have to do.
And that's actually why I put at the bottom of this background he had, I am Daniel Robinson, because
That's right.
you got to have a voice. Somebody got to speak up, and most definitely you're doing a hell of a job as a father. But in this community, this true crime community, it ain't no such thing as enough. You know what I'm saying? So I think we all have a voice, and we here to help. We definitely here to help.
You're right, and I continue to say this over and over again. It was suggested by one of the volunteers. You know, Daniel's just not my son; he's America's son, representing what happens in America. You have a lot of people out there that's missing, and the same treatment that this family is receiving from law enforcement, sworn to serve and protect. We pay those people; we're their boss, and
Right.
but they're not doing the job that they're supposed to. So a lot of families going through the same thing, and we have to point it out. That's what the Candlelight Visual is about this weekend, to point out those things and stand against that kind of treatment and things like that. Stand against that disparities that's going on, especially people of color and things like that also. So, you know, just kind of make sure we put that out and stand against that type of things that's going on right now. So it's bigger than just me and my family. But, you know, my main goal is to my son, but also to help other families.
I got a couple of questions. I'm just trying to hold on to John get back.
Right.
Had one question from I done lost it, but I remember the question. Do you have a PI involved? I know what happened with the first one. Do you have another one involved right now?
Yes, I do. Matter of fact, I have 1.5. You can say two, two. You know, but the good part is my investigator now. He's not a public guy. He's definitely not one to want to be on TV and all that kind of stuff. Hey, I do what I do on my end. He's doing his end. He'll report to me what he find and things like that. So I like it the way things are happening right now. Only thing I'm waiting on right now is the money for all of this forensic be done. The phone was easy. Mrs. Q gave me a good idea with that. That was easy, but it had to be signed off by my investigator to get those things sent over. So I couldn't do it myself. As what I was told is almost like a conflict of interest. You know what I'm saying? He's my son and his item. So I wouldn't. It had to be the one to be able to send it off. He had to do it. So.
And I'm gonna ask one more question. I think John about ready. I think it's Boosh wanted to know what kind of geology work was Daniel doing.
Well, you know, yeah, he is a geologist. That's what he is by, when he graduated by degree. He started working here in Phoenix, a company called Nature's New World, also called Nature's Southwest Groundwater, and they hired him on as a field geologist. Some also call it a hydrogeologist. And what he's hired to do is to go out to these well sites. Well sites is the life of a community. You know, these well sites have to produce, I think it was like 100 or 200 probably, but I believe it's 100 years of water, at least by law. And also the water had to be safe to drink. As you know, Arizona, for instance, have a lot of minerals and even gold, gold and all kind of stuff here in that ground. So, his job is to see the water volume that comes out of that well to determine if they have 100 year of water supply, and also to get the rock sediments out the bottom of that well to see if it's no chemicals or things that come off those rocks. It's safe to drink. The water's safe to drink.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
you.
So he have a job that's very important. What I can say about my son, he's very thorough, smart guy. He really loved what he done. As a geologist, he loved rocks. His apparent. He go in his apartment to clear his apartment. The first thing I noticed, and I kind of smile about it, it's kind of weird to me. He had his rock collection, right? sitting in his living room. I mean, he had to sit there nice like a shrine, you know. I'm like, what you got rocks in his house for? You know, I didn't know what that was all about. I thought it was a strange thing until, you know, my searches, a lot of geologists started coming out to support. And I kind of mentioned, I said, hey, my son had these rocks and it's crazy, you know. And hey, man, that's a geology thing. We all got rock collections. That's what they do because they know where the rocks come from, what region of the earth it come from. When they look at those, from what I'm learning now, look at those mountain ridges and things like that. They say, hey, this rock came from there or something, you know, that type deal. That's what he did. He learned that. He enjoyed rocks. He know where they come from, the deposits that's on the rocks and things like that. I could look at a rock and say, this is a rock. He could tell you what that rock is made of, you know, or something like that. So he enjoyed that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Hey, salute to you. Salute to you.
Oh, yeah.
You back, John? You ready?
Oh, yeah. I'm just playing in the background over here trying to get it straight.
If you need me, just say the word, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation that's going on. Mr. Robinson, this well that we are looking at here, that this camera is down 168 feet right here.
Right.
Where was this well located as compared
That's
to
the
Daniel?
one that's north. Yeah, that's the one north of that well where Daniel was last seen. It's only about not even a quarter of a mile up from that well site north, due north of the original well site my son was last seen. So not far off at all. And they all off of Sun Valley Parkway.
Okay, okay, so Daniel was working at a specific well with the co-worker from another company, and that well is not the same well we're looking at right now. So this is an entirely separate well that's north of where Daniel was.
Right. You know, one thing I can say now, hindsight, as you were saying it to me, this came to my brain just now. It's kind of weird. I didn't even question him if that was the well itself that he was working on. So, you know, what I'm saying, the reason why I say that is because we only going by, I was just told the well that I always called the well site that he was missing from. I was told that by one of the workers. When I first went out on my first search, one of the workers at the from his job led me on to that location because I was anxious. My very first search out there for that desert. Had them his boss, my son's boss, to take the lead and show me which well it was, and he took me to the other well. He didn't take me to this well, so it could very much be that this is the well that was really where my son was located. So I will double check all that.
Right, and I know that the camera that was used is a submergible camera that was not only able to capture the well itself as that camera descended into it, but was also able to submerge underwater and continue even far deeper than 168 feet, right?
That's right. It could have went a lot farther than that. Explained to him, it went up to where it finally stopped. The well itself was like 900 some feet, so it's down there. But it could go that what the equipment that you have can go a lot farther than that.
Right. So I'm slowly but surely using separate clips to actually show the camera rather than run the video because it seems to have lagged me up as I tried to play it. But here at 350 feet, this camera is underwater, past 170 feet now, and still going. And I believe you went down as far. Let me see if I can get there.
And one thing I can say is because of
351. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying because of that film, like I said, that lag or whatever. when I was doing that live the other day. Yeah, it didn't come out as clear as it was on my end right here on the StreamYard. But that camera is very high detailed. You can actually see every particle and things like that that's down in that well. And but like just trying to show you guys that it didn't come out as clear as I would like to. So like I said, I might try it again tomorrow morning.
Right, right. And here at 500 feet, we start to see the cylinder of the well change dramatically. What I'm looking at here reminded me of a filter that's
Right.
almost at the base of this well. This is where
That's
the
right.
river water flows through that compartment.
That's right.
Okay, and so the area here in and around that cylinder where the camera is would be the filtering um, component to this well. Capturing sediment, capturing all kinds of stuff from getting in here to blocking it. I
That's right.
would presume.
That's right. And that's what I was told. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So now we're down at 508. Let me see if I can go down a little further. I was amazed at how deep this well was at 900. I think it was about 970, almost 1,000 feet.
Right. Right.
Okay. Let's see if I can take us down a little bit further. Try to get a better picture for the folks in the audience. This technology is used to check the integrity of water wells, line systems for the waterways. And believe it or not, Mr. Robinson, would you consider this drinking water?
That's they told me. When he was telling me that, I was like, man, we drink that stuff. I mean, people can drink that stuff. That's what they use. People don't know what's in the pipes, but that stuff usually settled down. He's telling me they let it run. They try to run. They pump a lot of that out before they give it to the community. Like you say, that filtration on the sides, keeping everything else from coming in. But whatever's in there now, they'll take a pump down there and suck all that out. That type stuff as much as they can, and that's pretty much it. They go with it. So.
Yeah, because I'm like saying, wow, if people only knew
Right. Yeah.
some of these water line pipes that of course move water throughout communities and apartment complexes and homes and things of that nature, not only in Buckeye, Arizona, but New York or Texas or Florida or California, wherever you may live, to
Right.
actually see what some of these systems look like. It's like, wait a minute, I've been using that kind of water.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's right. Yes.
So here we're at 947 feet deep in this well, and we see a lot of sediment particles. We see the filter. I think there was a solid substance down here, if I can get to it.
And that was actually a fence pole. The fence pole that was there. When you was farther up, you would run into that pipe that was stuck down in there too. So several instructions was sent down there for whatever reason.
And I know that they used starlight technology, which illuminates underwater, so
That's
that the camera can see.
That's right. Yes.
The various different things that are down there. So
That's right.
this must have been one hell of an experience for you to actually see this, and your heart racing, and at the same time, hoping that if Daniel's down here, you're going to find him.
That's right.
However, if he's not, that's good news too.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. So I can definitely imagine that experience as this camera descended and ascended back and forth, up and down to really check this well. I believe. Now, who came out to actually do this work with you?
A company
If it's
called
okay to ask.
Geolog. Oh yes, Geolog. They came out to do this work. That's what they do. They will inspect, and that's their job. Like I said, to utilize their cameras. They were gracious to do that for me, and like I said, at the same time, they help me with that deal with the owners to get that free inspection. They get a free inspection, and at the same time, I get what I want is to search the well.
Okay. Okay, because it's extraordinary to see this. And another important question, I know that I had asked you earlier this morning, but for the folks in the audience who may not have caught your early morning live Q&A live, I had asked the question regarding the rancher who found Daniel's Jeep. Was he able to get in contact with you since the last time you spoke with him? And he was the one who identified Daniel's Jeep. Was he able to speak with you at all up until now about anything?
No, no. Last time I talked to Brandon was at my hotel. Like I say, did some information there. The same thing, you guys know that the vehicle wasn't there 2 days prior. That type, 2 to 3 days prior, how you put it.
Right.
That type of deal. But and some other little small information he put there that definitely I won't be able to put out. But he's talked about some things. But that was the last time I spoke with him. I did reach out to him one time after that because of course, I've been doing a lot of interviews. A lot of those journalists want to speak with him. I found last he was in the hospital with COVID. He was telling me, and so that's the last time I heard from him.
Right. And what about the coworker that was out there that was supposed to meet up with Daniel to work out at the well site with Daniel? Has he made any kind of contact with you since the last time you were able to speak with him about it?
No, last I heard from Ken was the day I came out there. Like you guys know, boss man and yourself. If your father, the first thing you want to do is look this man. I had to look this guy in the face. He gonna tell me about my son, something that's opposite what I believe. That he just some kind of way waved off to him and drove off. In the desert. That's out of character for my son. So I had to look this man in the eye. And he gonna have to tell me this in my eye. Look at me. So that's the last time I talked to him. Last time I spoke to him from that point. They haven't seen him out in the searches. You would ask the question like, if you're very, very concerned, like he said he was. A couple things that stood out to me was that he didn't make a phone call. He said he did all this walking and all this moving around, but there was no phone call to see, hey, you just talked to him. You said about 9 o'clock, telling him not to come out because some fuel truck type deal at the time. That kind of conversation message you're leaving on the phone, but for him to, not even make a simple phone call to see if he answers his phone call, phone or whatever at the time. Early on when he first claiming they went missing, that was different to me. But like I said, that's the last time I spoke to him. Just to hear this side of the story.
Right. Now, has any member of Buckeye City Council, any of the politicians, any of the out of Phoenix or Buckeye reached out to you in reference to all of the time that you've been there since June 26th at all?
No. And, that's part of what I'm doing is kind of like visual and asking people to show up in solidarity because that's one of the things I'm going to be mentioning about in my speech on Saturday. I've been here since June 26th, and not one time have they even said hello to me. And the crazy part is, whenever the times I did invite that Buckeye Police Department out, I wrote Chief Hall those letters. I CC'd those people on those letters. So they, along with Chief Hall. So those guys have never responded to those letters that I sent to Chief Hall. Like I said, didn't acknowledge that I'm here in their jurisdiction. In their city, holding these mass and large searches and covering a lot of ground. We did 19,000 acres. since the vehicle was recovered, not before. We did some acres before that, but since we started counting, because we lost track of how many acres we did before the vehicle was found. But after that vehicle was found, over 19,000 acres, probably at 20,000 acres now. So we did a lot out there, and not one time in their jurisdiction did they come out and say, "Hey, look, we know you're out here, Mr. Robinson," or whatever case may be. We're praying for you. Anything? No, I don't get anything for those folks.
Okay. Any word back from the follow-up with the EquiSearch regarding the referral that they had mentioned to you that they were going to provide you with?
No, not at all. Things like that puzzle me. I just noticed that people throw out all these nonprofits to me. I reach out to those nonprofits, and a lot of them probably think that I don't. None of them come through. I haven't found a nonprofit to come through yet. Equifax, like I said, to their credit, they just been honest. Hey, look, your son's case don't fit our profile, whatever that means. I don't know, but they did say that. I think his name was Dave Rader, and so from that point, he recommended me to another nonprofit. He thought it could be better fit for what I'm doing out there in the desert. I did reach out to that company. I can't remember the name. It's on the letter that I wrote to Chief Hall. Those
Right.
guys. They told me, hey, look, they just need the Buckeye Police Department to invite them in. They said they'd come even if they didn't, but they need to invite them in. I put that part of the letter for Buckeye to invite those guys in because they have these technologies with the drones. Everything I need, money I just can't spend. I can spend it, but that'll kill my searches and it'll kill all kind of things if I try to buy those type drones that they have and that technology. But the guys already have it. They said they was going to help me with it. We discussed that. But on the day of the search, the gentleman, one of the gentlemen called me and say, hey, he couldn't come out because the rest of the guys didn't show up for work that day or something or other, and he can't do it alone. So it's one of those things. Like I say, I'm willing to work with anybody if they want to help. Fine. If they don't want to help, I'm a type father. I'm doing it. You probably can figure that out by now. I found other ways to do things, just like I did. Found ways to get this well search that I've been trying to do for a long time now.
Right. Because I know that, Miss Anna, who's in the chat room, along with Miss Aquahoma and a couple of other folks have reached out to me by email to keep me posted on some of the background work that they're doing, which is helping our background team piece together a lot of what we've been able to. So I want to give a major shout out to Miss Anna for, contacting city council and trying to find some people to, put you in touch with so that this way we can get more folks involved here.
Right.
There is another individual who's reached out to me by phone in reference to maybe even, with your consent, though, to reach out to some of the folks in South Carolina that are part of alumni, lioness clubs, things of that nature, to see if, we can gather some attention and support for some of the folks out there. So that's in the mix. I was supposed to return a call to her earlier this week, and then I got thrown off track a little bit, covering some other things at the same time, but we'll be working in that direction as well to try to see if we can get some activity out of South Carolina, because I know that I have spoken to you about that, and I felt that if we can get South Carolina, anyone in the South Carolina area to support what you're doing in Arizona, then I think that might be a big pull on getting some additional attention, whether it be through mainstream media or some talk shows. Maybe John Walsh will be able to contact you, just something to trigger more media coverage for the story, and so we're working on those dynamics right now.
Yeah, I appreciate that. There's some things I'm working with his college. He's a founder of his fraternity down there. Can't really remember the name of it, but just trying to get with the school on that, because he's graduated the College of Charleston, so they do have alumni there. Try
Right.
to get involved themselves. Also, you spoke about John Wash. I was able to get um, his contact information. I've been reaching out for a long time to them, and I was waiting. With John Wash, the only thing I asked for them was to relay that message to him. Hey, look, he has experience. He's been looking for his son. Any man can relate to what I'm going through looking for mine. He was successful in finding his son. Unfortunately, he found him in the way he had to find him, but it gave him some sense of closure. He has some experience. I'm sure he's very much a professional by this time on how to better search. So my message to Mr. Wash is to pick his brain to get some information how I could better search for my son, what suggestions he have given. I didn't ask for any type of donation or anything like that, but just to have some knowledge. This is new. Nobody ever did this before until they have somebody missing. I didn't have to organize anything in my life the way things are going now. But you have to be a fast learner, get on that fast learning curve, and I'm driven by passion for my son. So those type of things. So John Wash, his expertise on some of those areas, or whoever who have that type of experience, it can benefit what I'm doing here on the ground. I mean, like really benefit. So yeah, I'm reaching out. I do have the opportunity going to Crime Con this year on the 29th of April to do a speech there, be a part of that platform. I will be able to talk to Dr. Phil, who asked for me to be on that platform, get to talk
On
to
that
those folks,
platform. Okay.
right? To be able to talk to some of those guys in that community that may be able to help me do this a lot better. So I'm looking forward to the opportunity.
Good, good. Now I know that you and I have spoken about the forensics department, and I'm glad to hear that the phone has been sent out to the forensic company to be analyzed and looked at carefully. They seem to be a very reputable company that can not only analyze but do cloud extraction, which is a very important aspect of what we're looking for in terms of data information, timeline, everything that Daniel did with his phone during that time that he went missing will show up on his phone. So I'm very excited and definitely looking forward to consulting with you on that data information so that we can take a look at the timeline as it's written, not only in the Buckeye Police report, which they have, sent you 3 to 4 different copies, modified copies, and things of that nature. But it'll also help us to identify a lot of what's not in the report in its entirety.
Yeah, and also, yeah, like I said, with that timeline, I do have a lot because of Google. Was able to get a lot of that Google stuff done. But like I said, the cloud, some of the things that was deleted. One thing that was suggested on the police report that puzzled me. The Buckeye Police Department decided to wait all this time and say all of a sudden in the new report. I call it new reports. I think they're up to 4 or 5 reports now because the reports that I have don't have this information on there. But they say the original reports. They say now that they found some stuff in his trash can in the phone, referring to right. And I went through that phone, and of course, the phone itself says, "Hey, everything's get deleted after 30 days." So when they say they went in there and they found the stuff, I can't see how they found any kind of information, depending on the date that they had actually extracted that. I know my son been missing almost 30 days before they showed up here, only like a few days short of that. Now they had my phone, my son's phone, and I remember when Detective Bill from hindsight now told me that he put that phone in his pocket off the scene. So he had that phone. He took it. Now he asked my daughter. I have a recorded phone call. It was probably like about 3 days after this, 3 or 4 days after this vehicle was on the scene. That put that phone after 30 days. And put it in after 30 days that he was missing, right? So if anything was in that trash can, it would have been wiped out after 30 days, like I said. And so that put it past that time where he claimed he checked the phone because he couldn't get in the phone. My daughters had to give him the passwords to get into that phone because, like, for some reason, my children, like I said, this to tell you how close our family ties are. They know each other's passwords. They all use the same passwords. Somehow, the children, but they use each other's passwords, and since they know each other's passwords, so that's the reason why she was able to give Detective Biffin the password to get in that phone. But like I said, that was well after the 30-day mark. So for him to say he went in that trash can and got any kind of data, I question that. You know what I'm saying? Because it was already erased. Unless he did it some kind of distraction himself, some type of way. I don't see them saying that. Some kind of distraction where they can pull old deleted data from the phone itself. I don't know. But I'm checking into that part too. If they can get it, then I mean I can get it too.
Right.
To verify that. Right.
Right. So, I'm hoping that once the phone report on Daniel's cell comes back, that'll be a game changer because it will, help us to move forward to get the airbags checked for DNA and Daniel's clothes checked not only for DNA, whether he wore them that day, but also to identify any airbag chemicals that, may be found on his clothes from the airbag deployment that was activated in his Jeep.
Right.
So it's quite interesting because the thought had crossed my mind. What if Daniel's clothes were cleaned? And that'll show up in a DNA examination. If someone took Daniel's clothes and cleaned them from any kind of evidence and then laid them out there, that's going to also show up as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. Right. Those type deals. Right.
Yeah. So, I'll be very excited to consult with you on that information once it comes back. And what about Daniel's laptop computer? Did that go out too, or is that on standby?
All that's on standby. I'm doing things slowly, like we talked about. Those
Right.
things
Right. Okay.
Based on funding. It's still gonna be based on funding. I'm really, really careful. Like I said, I don't know how long my son's gonna be missing. I'm not being able to rush it unless the funding come in real fast. I'm suspecting it will. It's another push that I've got going on, especially with the crime con situation with some of the other things I have going on in the background. Usually, when new people find out about the case, new people would donate. So that can help with get those funding that I need to get those stuff done. So looking forward to that. I may even consider what you guys suggested. Because to kind of help people understand how that donation thing works. They'll look on the GoFundMe and they see a number, but it don't register in their mind that the money is actually constantly being used, and what they see on as a number is not actually what's there. The money is actually being used every day to run this whole situation. So it's not exactly what it is. You have to minus the charges and things like that come off of it. Just all that kind of avenue. But some people don't see that, and it's kind of hard to sit there and just really explain it. But this is an ongoing thing. Like I said in my Q&A, they spent what you see on the GoFundMe I have now. They spent that in one day looking for a murderer who killed the Gabby in the Gabby case, did that murder in the Gabby case. And they spent that money in one day looking for this guy. The money that you see on there, and that's not even all of it, like I say, minus the fees, that money been spread out over going on 9 months now. So, I don't have that luxury with the police department coming in, spending unlimited money that they claim they don't have sometimes, but they can get a private investigator just to bolster their story. They get money when they want to, and for different reasons, whatever benefits them. But this, I guess, doesn't benefit them to find my son and to utilize these drones and helicopters and all the resources that you see in those other cases that went national. And they decided not to do that for my son. And that's a problem for me. So like I said, I had to do that myself, but it had to be done slowly. And it's also relying on my money and also donation money.
Right. And I'm just seeing if I can go ahead and screen share so that this way we can actually take a look at the GoFundMe page. And from the time we began working on it with Miss Yunu, I think it was about 198,000 just registered funds that went to the GoFundMe. And one of the funniest things, about a GoFundMe is that, if you're utilizing any of the dollars in a GoFundMe, it won't register that, so you really can't see what has been utilized from that GoFundMe. It'll just register one way, and that's it.
That's right. I want to point out something real quickly on mine. I just happened to see this in the chat. I think it's Leanne Ferguson. Daniel was actually 24 when he was missing, and now he's 25. So I just want to make sure they have that information. I just happened to see that on the chat.
Right. There was a YouTuber out there that kept saying that he was 23. I think that YouTuber was called The Lost One or something like that. He was a gentleman out of Colorado or something, and he brought his dogs down there to search. And I was sitting here scratching my head. I said, what is he doing out there searching out there all by himself with his dogs?
Yeah.
When he should have been a part of the entire search team, at least isolated, because I know that he wanted to do some searching and stuff like that and be isolated away from the search party and things of that nature. So, he could work his dogs and things of that nature. But to be out there all by himself, I said, whoa. I said, he's taking a big chance.
Well, one thing I can't say, his name is Cody. He
Cody.
reached out to me, and he reached out to me to help. He said he was coming from California. He heard me see my Q&A. He have his Devil Dolls, Search Dolls, things like that. I was helping to do my special ops search for Saturday. He wanted to help out. I was going to send him up there to the other search that was going on off of Sun Valley Parkway, Cactus Road. But I thought about it. I said, wait a minute, I can use him out there where I was at. Told him, direct him to come down there while we're working one side of the area. I sent him to the other side of the area, like you said, along with the searches itself. Since then, once our search end was out there finishing, I literally forgot that he was out there. I had to call him back, say, hey, man, I forgot you was out there, but he's still out there with his dog. He said he didn't mind because he was out there going to spend the night anyway because he has a camper with him. And he wanted to spend the night out there and search again the next morning. He did find some, what he said was human remains. I found out that he collected those things. I like, no, that's not what we do. I explained it to him under my search. We do not collect anything when it comes to human remains. We take pictures of it, we document it, and we send it up on the website so that Buckeye get a copy, I get a copy, and my investigator get a copy, and we just leave it at that. But he collected those items, wanted to bring them to me or something. I'm like, no, you need to turn that to Buckeye. That's not something I do. But yeah, he did take upon himself to go up to Sun Valley Parkway, up that area to search. I was grateful that he was out there searching, and he did run into, I think it was some eyeglass case, which I do have now. He found out there in that search out there. So I thought he was doing a very good job, as in searching. However, saying it's the methods that's different from what we do for my searches.
Right, definitely. But big shout out to the Lost Ones for taking the initiative and coming from all the way from where he lives out of state to go down there to try and help you to find Daniel. So.
Yes. But I just want to clear one thing I did hear later on from his YouTube channel. He said the glass was in the case. There was no glass in that vehicle itself. So I just want to clear that to everybody. I am going to have that case examined. I had it looked at for my daughters. Nobody recognized that eyeglass case. My son liked to wear Ray-Bans. That's not a case with that type thing. We kind of think it may came from out of the volunteers, because we did search that area before. We did some line searches out there, and somebody may have dropped it or something. I don't know. or somebody else was out there. That doesn't get visited by a lot of people all the time during the week. But I can say the vehicle itself didn't have any glass shattered inside the vehicle. That's one indication from my investigator standpoint that the door was actually open when that glass broke out that windshield, because nothing was inside. I know, Mr. Q, you believe that airbags had something to do with that, but that's the indication of what happened with that glass, because nothing was there um, from that, inside the vehicle itself.
Right.
But the door panel, I think, like the little area inside the door where had a little bit of glass in that, but not on the seats or spread around in that car. Other thing that I'm saying that to bolster that, the suspiciousness of the glass on the ground. The glass on the ground was, before you guys saw it the way you do, whether it's on CNN, when it was out there with me, News Nation and things like that, when they show the glass on the ground, people, I don't know why a lot of volunteers or other people like to come out and collect the glass as some kind of souvenir and things like that, or try to crack the case by grabbing some of the glass. But the glass was pretty much not really intact, but it was almost like on the ground, but right in a perfect square shape, but
Right.
shattered, broken down, shattered, almost like somebody took something, smashed it perfectly on the ground like that. But you'll think that if something got busted out like that by whatever, and hit the ground, it would have been all over the place, especially at a movement.
Right.
Just
Right.
one little section like that. So everything's all together in one little small spot, and I know that glass wouldn't come out like that exactly. So. So I'm gonna have all that examined. That's the whole point of having that vehicle forensically done. I haven't touched that vehicle. I only seen it twice, but I do want that door panel to be open and see how much glass is in the door panel itself. If anything fell down inside the door panel itself, how much glass? Just get answers like that. Just simple things like that. I can, like I said, and I'm making it clear. I only saw that vehicle to this date twice. When the Buckeye Police Department showed it to me, and an investigator showed it to me at the facility. So those only 2 times I made sure I was nowhere near it, never physically touched it, and that's for a reason, because of chain of custody, and I want to make sure to keep that integrity as much as I can. So that's one of the reasons. But I can, like I said, want to really point out about that eyeglass case, about the glass vending eyeglass case. I'm really not understanding where you get that from.
Right. Right. Because I was also re-examining the windshield. I wasn't completely satisfied regarding the airbags making that kind of an impact because of the center areas of the impact area crystalled out. In other words, almost like a star-like. So. I'm thinking there's plenty of rocks out there in the desert, that could have possibly made certain impressions on that glass, in a precision kind of way. And what led me to that was not the breakage on the driver's side directly where the driver would be sitting, but there was a smaller breakage just about south of that, more closer to the hood, that had the same marks. And I said, well, wait a minute. I said, if he hit something, you'd have one impression or one impact area. But in this particular instance, there are 2 identical impressions, one smaller than the other. I said, I wonder if somebody maybe picked up a rock and maybe threw it at the windshield and caused that cluster effect to occur on the glass. I mean, I'm no, glass technician expert, but I did start to see certain impressions on the glass that, gave me different impressions where the airbags had a contribution factor, connected to it. In other words, they contributed to some of the glass shattering. It wasn't the cause of the glass shattering, if you follow what I'm saying. So we're still looking at that, and we're still looking at the paint on the car. Now I know that outside of being a geologist and everything else like that, these folks use certain color markers when they're out there in the desert and whatnot. And I was just wondering, what kind of tools does a pump technician use? Geologists use certain tools, like Daniel did, and we were able to identify some of the tools that he was able to have with him. What is a pump technician's tools? Um, what are they? They go out there, they're working with mechanical instruments and things of that nature. Do they use color coded systems like geologists? And if so, what colors do they use? Yellow, a red, a white, a green, a blue, a black, or, as identifying markers based on the work that they do. So we're looking into that too, because of the red and yellow paint that's on that front right end corner of the of Daniel's vehicle. So
Right.
yeah.
I want to say something real quick though. Tell everybody I see your comments in the session. I've not been able to respond, but I see your comments, and I really appreciate those comments of really like the advocate for Daniel, and that you guys are sharing the story and things like that. I really appreciate that.
Yes, definitely. Share with us a little bit about this upcoming March 12th event that you have concerning the candlelight visual.
Yeah, it's this Saturday. Of course, I want to let everybody know I'm also having the searches as usual for the special operations. Be at 7:45 in the morning. To search for my son. That search had to continue. Of course, it's minus all the equipment that I normally use to do it a lot more. I had to streamline it just to be able to save some money for the upcoming forensics work and things like that. But I will have that going on Saturday morning. But that evening for the city distribution, I'm having that transferred over to the 6:15 to go to the area where we're going to have the candidate visual. The candidate visual is for, again, to bring awareness to my son's case. After a while, just like anything with in terms of news media and news coverage, everything's about money. It's about money and it's about ratings. And my son, of course, he's missing. So for me, it's about my son. But you can understand that the news coverage would be about ratings and things like that. So that's to bring Carlock Visual will do several things for my son's case. It'll highlight his case, bring new light, shed more light into it. Also, bring some pressure to that police department. That's the reason I'm asking you guys, if you can, talk to anybody, any friends of yours. If you can't make it, try to get somebody else to make it. If you can make it, bring all the people you can. You want load the vehicle up or whatever the case may be. We just need those numbers. Those numbers speak a lot. It speaks really big. We have some senators that's going to be there, some high-profile people that will be there, and also, just the news coverage to put a statement out there. Hey, look, this man been missing for going on 9 months. We're not getting the attention and getting the justice that my son deserves. Like I said, nobody's spending that kind of revenue on my son, but you guys when you donate and myself. So we want to highlight and say, hey, look, enough is enough. There's a lot of families going through the same thing that my family's going through. My son is just a prime example of that. All the difference is a lot of families don't get to do what I do, be on ground zero, fighting for your loved one. And I shouldn't be doing this alone. And I was going to do it regardless. I'm going to be with the police department. If they was really doing their job, I would have been there with them and help them along. But when they sit there not doing anything, that's exactly what happened to a lot of families. They don't get these answers, and people be missing for years. In this case, the department dragged their feet at the beginning. Now my son has been missing over 9 months because of that. Because we're going to put that part of my speech would be about changing the way the police officers need to change the way they approach missing persons cases. When people report them missing, these families and know their loved ones, you don't go to some stranger and ask them their opinion. Ask that family member about their opinion, what's going on with this person that's missing, and they need to treat it as possible criminal or possible something happened or possible endangered person first.
Right.
Then work your way back to it not being anything like that. So don't start off, well, this is a grown person, they can do what they want to do type deal, and then work your way up. Because that's what happens. The time, that 24 hours or 48 hours is very crucial. And whenever you sit there and drag your feet, it's a time. It's almost like the 48 hours. You watch that show, they say, hey, after that 48 hours, it'd be kind of difficult to crack this case. The same thing with missing persons. If you don't act immediately, then you'll be waiting for 8 to 9 months trying to find out what happened.
Right. And that's where, I was looking at the aspects of the police department on how they conducted this investigation. And I can't, think of the reason why they didn't deem, Daniel's case an missing endangered person right away.
Right.
Which they should have done under the peculiar circumstances in which the Jeep was found, so.
My son's born, he's not a handicapped person. That's why you barely even hear me say anything about my son being born with one hand. And a lot of people who just come into the story probably wouldn't even know that unless we spoke about it, because it don't often come up, especially out of me. Because since my son been young, he's been treated the same as any of his siblings. It's almost like you don't see it. Daniel have a personality where you don't pay attention to that kind of thing. But I can tell you, even with that, this is a known fact that the Buckeye police have known about my son. There's several things that made him a danger if they want to try to focus on one thing. One, he was born without a hand, right? He was born missing one of his hands. The other part is he's not from Arizona. The third thing was that they were so hard trying to push this narrative that my son has some kind of mental impairment, to he was depressed, to he was in love with some woman he didn't know type deal, right? They even lied on me on the report and said I said it. So, they bolstered that. And with all of that, they still didn't see him as a dangerous person, even after this vehicle wasn't seen for 30 days. And then Chief Hall himself came on CNN and say, hey, this is a suspicious case. He said it's under suspicious nature. So they still double down and refusing to do so. So that kind of goes back to what Bossman just said. That's when you start looking at why. Why would they be so hard on really trying to bend up or not moving this case forward to anything else but to say he's a grown man, he can leave if he wants to. I mean, just to prove it, if you guys could just use your thoughts a little bit when it comes to this whole police report, when you read it, you got to ask yourself this one question. If you really feel like something happened to my son, you really saying that you're doing an investigation now because you got national attention, you say, oh, I'm investigating the disappearance of this man, then why you gave me this vehicle? Why do I have full custody on after the day they told me about the vehicle? The next day they gave me that vehicle, put it in my custody, turned it over to me. I had to make them do forensic work on it 2 days after they gave it to me, and then on that day of the meeting, they gave me everything, and it all was marked for safekeeping. You don't do an investigation. That thing should have been in some kind of evidence locker. If they were doing an investigation, they go do some forensic work on the clothing, like Mr. Q said, to see if he was even in a vehicle with the airbag chemicals or whatever, like being washed, whatever the case may be. There wasn't no investigation. They put it on their Facebook page that they didn't have any more leads to follow. They took that page, when I mentioned it in the media, they deleted that post, but they don't know I got a copy from the media who you can't delete everything off your page, all it's there. So that type of thing, because they're just covering themselves up. Now they're in the process of covering themselves up for months now. And when they keep doing that, they're just making it worse for themselves, because they forget several things. They forget that I record everything, and they also forget this other information. They forget that I have the original reports that they started off with. So that those two things always just putting that department further and further in the hole. The more and more they keep doing this, instead of just say becoming clean, you drop the ball. You need to do better, do something, and work with me as a father to find out what happened to my son.
Exactly.
But the Candlelight Vision is there. I wish you guys please come out, because we definitely need the numbers, and I need the numbers out there if you can. And we need the numbers. Let's make a statement and try to get this ball rolling with some agency to come in to help me in this case.
Yes, I know that Miss Q is going to be boots on the ground out there
That's right. Yes.
on March 12th, and we're going to be making arrangements to do a live stream so that we can do a simulcast from the candlelight vigil from
That's
your
right.
location all the way here to New York on this channel. So we're going to sync it up as soon as we find out the exact time she's going to go live. Then we're going to simulcast it on this channel for folks that have been following the case who can't be there. Well, you know, John Q is going to be here, but will
Right.
also be there in spirit, you know.
That's right. That's right.
Absolutely. You know, but for those of you who have not, as of yet, know about this story to the extent where you can go to this website, pleasehelpfinddaniel.com, and do 1, 2, or even all 3 things on the red tabs here. Please sign the petition. That's going to help this case move forward if and when the time comes to for Mr. David Robinson to make a move to speak with the Attorney General about taking specific actions due to the inaction that this case is involved with concerning how the police conducted their investigation, the follow-up, the whole procedure. You know, they need to be held accountable for the work that was done and for the work that wasn't done in this particular case. So signing the petition helps to move the case forward in that aspect. If you haven't donated, please take a moment, maybe find a couple of dollars that you can post to keep Mr. Robinson there in Arizona, to continue looking for Daniel until he finds him. We're still on the campaign. And I know Miss Yunu has been posting the link in her chat. We've been doing it here. Miss Q has been doing it on her channel. I saw that link in Boss Blake's channel. And I know that word is getting around. It's always been posted in Gisella's channel, the Grizzly True Crime with the Grizzlies. And it's all to bring awareness. And so, you know, that kind of support is needed. Also to get the forensic work done. You know, we're in phase 1, having Daniel's phone examined. The next phase is going to be obviously the laptop, airbags, clothing, up until we get the whole entire Jeep forensically examined, scrubbed, vacuumed, fibers, DNA, sediment particles, who was in Daniel's Jeep, fingerprint analysis, everything. And this does take dollars, and every little bit counts. And so we encourage those of you who can do that tonight, just before you go to sleep, to be a part of the contributing factor in this case getting solved. You know, definitely, you know, go to the GoFundMe and make that contribution. I know there's a Cash App as well that Mr. Robinson has available on the table. I think it's $. Please help find Daniel, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. $, please. Each word capitalized on the first word. Please help find Daniel. Right.
Yes. Okay. Great. And that's the quickest way to get dollars directly over to Mr. Robinson, so that this way he can utilize those funds immediately for the forensics, for the candlelight vigil. All of this takes dollars, you know, to do, and to be out there to coordinate all of this, along with you know, Evan Short is the search coordinator he's working with, along with a host of other folks that he's able to interface with to get all of this stuff done. So I want you to just imagine for a moment you standing in Mr. Robinson's shoes, looking for your loved one, and you're the one that has to do it all because law enforcement, has just faded to black on this whole thing. You see, so that's why we've been campaigning to please help find Daniel the way we have. And so, yeah, if you can take a moment to do that tonight, that would be great. We're going to be coming back with Mr. Robinson after the candlelight vigil to share with us any new developments regarding search efforts. The phone forensic report will be able to maybe share some information with you as that becomes available. As well as any other upcoming lives on Mr. Robinson's channel. Please help find Daniel. He does a morning Q&A session every morning or every other morning, whenever he is available to do them. Please go to his YouTube channel. Please help find Daniel and subscribe. Make sure the bell is, nice and dark, and definitely support the channel. Hit the like, get it into the algorithms, strengthen the awareness on this case. Will only help to bring closure to the case as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
And so,
Also, I want to mention that on that tab, he was reaching out on the website, the volunteer in other ways. That tab, for everybody, I get an influx of people that want to help, but they can't be here in Arizona. Some I should sending out flyers also to different cities. One going to Brooklyn, New York. Some set going to Brooklyn, New York. Some going to Colorado. But that's this form here that Mr. Q just pulled up. That is for people who want to volunteer in other ways. What we're doing is find out certain skill sets of people. By filling out this form, you're helping out. In that way, we can direct you better ways that you can help everything, not just what I'm doing on the ground. But of course, I'm setting up a nonprofit, the Daniel Robinson Foundation. So look for people in those kind of areas who have certain skill sets. How you can fit in from where you at, wherever your location is, whether you overseas here, wherever you fit in, where you at, we can actually find things that way you can help in other areas based on what your skill sets are and things like that. So please fill out that form. Feel free to do that if you want to help out, and that'll help us, like I say, put people in different places where we need them. So thank you so much.
okay. And so that's an incredible update. I mean, to see that camera go down that well and really, take those pictures and photographs of, how deep that well is, how wide the wells are, and to really see what's down in these different wells. Now, there was a pipe that looks like some floating debris on top of the water before the camera submerged. It's an amazing thing to see.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention, I'm going to probably run this that footage again tomorrow morning. I hope it come out a lot clearer so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. Just overlooking at that video again, I did see something at the end. Me and the guy, the gentleman that was actually putting the camera down. There's one little area I tried to point it out that morning for you guys to see after looking at that footage later. There's something there buried in that dirt, right? At the bottom. And so he tried to use the camera to kind of dive in and kind of move the dirt, because it does. Sometimes it stabs into the dirt. You can jiggle it a little bit and it pushes the dirt out from around this little white, what almost appeared, we was talking like the top of the base of a skull, so just a round circle that's kind of out of the dirt just a little bit. So what I plan to do is still photo that area. And this week coming, have someone who could probably, hopefully, identify that it's just some type of debris sitting down there, or hopefully it's not a human skull, the top part of a human skull. If so, I'm sure they had to pull all that debris that somebody threw down in there for whatever reason out of there and try to get to whatever that is buried.
Right. Okay. I know that you've got to run. You've got things up and running bright and early tomorrow in the morning.
That's right.
I certainly appreciate you, coming by and giving us an update, giving us a current progress report, as well as things to look forward to. I do look forward to going live on Saturday to do a simulcast with Miss Q concerning the candlelight vigil,
Okay.
and joining you in spirit, live from New York. To be a part of that, and our team will be here to support you.
Yeah, and I appreciate you always there. Thanks to yourself, Miss Q, also T. Sophia, a Renegade, and you knew all of you that part of that team. And I really appreciate all the hard work you do in the background. I keep saying it over and over again. I'm really grateful for all that you do. So I know y'all put some long hours in sometimes at night. And you know how when I'm there with you, we all do it together sometimes. But you guys always doing that, and I really appreciate that. Putting those hours in, trying to help out. So thank you.
Yes, and you're very welcome, and it's a pleasure for us to be a part of making a positive contribution to a case that needs resolution.
I
Most
really appreciate
certainly, there are thousands of cases out there that somewhat like this in some way, shape, or form, and for folks that'll take the time out to be of true support, not just have a conversation, but get in, roll up your sleeves, and get into a thought process and a work habit that will help to produce answers, because that's what this case is looking for: answers. What happened to Daniel? Where is Daniel?
That's
We
right.
want to find Daniel and bring him home.
Thank you. And thank everybody that's in the chat as well.
Absolutely.
Step Woman, Anna, thank you again for asking me to rest. Also for subscribing. Also Oklahoma for your love, support, the hugs and things. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Gymnastics 101, Leanne Ferguson. Everybody in the chat, if I miss you, I really was shouting you out. Thank you so much, and I really appreciate you guys for everything you're doing. I'm reading everything. There's a lot of them coming up as we're talking. I'm reading, so I do hear your comments and things like that. So I really appreciate you, all the nice things you're saying, the hearts to everything you're saying. I really appreciate it. God bless you on that.
Now you'll be doing a Q&A tomorrow morning on your channel.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will. This will be for the Friday, and then the next one will be on Monday. After this Friday, I'll do the next one on Monday.
Right. Okay. And that's usually you usually come on about 8:30 New York time, so that would
That's
be
right.
6:30 your time, right?
6:30. That's right. That's right.
Okay. Bright and
Yeah, I
early in
try
the
to
morning,
balance
I'll tell you.
that out. But it's gonna be a little different come Monday, for I guess everybody out in your area. It's gonna be a little later for you. I guess it'll be 9:30 and be 6:30 here, but because of what you're going up an hour on Sunday, so it'll be 9:30 your time Monday and be 6:30 here in Arizona.
Right. Okay. Well, I look forward to joining you tomorrow in the morning on your Q&A, and
Appreciate that.
also
Thank you.
for Saturday for the candlelight vigil with Miss Q, and
Thank you.
we'll definitely tie it all together and make it work.
Sounds great. Sounds like a plan. Thanks so much.
Yeah, definitely. And then after that, hopefully we'll get a chance to do a phone consultation on some of the updates that we've come across to share with you, and likewise, any new developments on your side too. We'll keep it tight. We'll keep it tight.
That's right. Yeah, we always do. That's right. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you once again for joining us. We've been talking tonight, for those of you who are just coming into the chat, about Daniel Robinson, 25-year-old field geologist for engineering firm out in Buckeye, Arizona, who went missing on June 23rd of 2021. David Robinson, Daniel Robinson's father, is here with us, sharing the story, sharing his progress of the searches, and definitely looking to have all the support he can get to stay there in Arizona till he finds Daniel.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Well, have yourself a good night, sir, and we will
Sure.
definitely keep connected.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Q.
All
Thank
right.
you, everybody.
You got it.
Thank-
Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. There you have it, Mr. David Robinson. Ah, my heart goes out to him and his family. And sometimes I have my moments. So I know in some way we've spiritually connected with this case and to the family and to their quest to find Daniel. And we're fighting hard, and we may not be boots on the ground, but let's just say we are cued to the truth. We're looking for answers. So I'm just glad that Mr. David Robinson was able to join us tonight, especially during his busy schedule, to share with us that progress report. Up next, we have a little bit of discussion. I'm sure that everyone has been following the Classic and Sincere Pettis case, aka Orrin and Orson West, the two California city toddlers that went missing on December 21st of 2020 out in California City. And it's interesting to find now that we'll be moving and are moving closer to getting to the truth as to what happened to these boys. And for the adoptive parents of both Classic and Sincere, the two that were responsible for these children and for other children, all under the age of 10 at that time, it's very interesting to see, even to this day, that they have pled not guilty to the grand jury indictment of second-degree murder of these children. Also, a felony count, 2 counts regarding felony child abuse, and 1 count of falsely reporting an emergency. And I feel that the dates that they've come up with to give the attorneys plenty of time, well, at least the defense attorney, plenty of time to begin putting together the defense case. The prosecution, Cynthia Zimmer, the DA out of Kern County, appears to have this case ready to rock and roll on May 23rd. I know that they also have another date we were able to find in regards to a readiness date. And I think I had posted it on the last live concerning the boys, which is going to be, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, either today or they may have had it already. I'm not sure. I'll be able to get that update as it comes. But a readiness, a hearing to get ready to be ready for the May 23rd projected start date to get the trial underway. Now, the indictments that came just a week ago startled a lot of us. I know it did me, because I was looking at the aspect of the boys still being alive and probably held up somewhere, with someone, going back and forth, just to keep them hidden. But the DA, according to the evidence that was collected and the investigation that they were conducting, found that the boys were deceased 3 months prior to the 911 phone call that Trezell and Jacqueline West had made on December 21st of 2020. In our last live, we covered some specific information as to direct evidence that I believe will be brought up in trial, no doubt, concerning not only December 21st of 2020, as we spoke about in a last live, but also December 19th, where video surveillance footage from a neighbor's home had captured both December 19th and December 21st, the activities of both Trezell and Jacqueline West during the time the boys went missing, reportedly went missing, according to them. And so I still shake my head to this day and say, wow, for folks that had projected to the public on how concerned they were about the boys, never once was seen at a search, never once was seen at a vigil, never once made any follow-up commentary with mainstream media as to their participation in looking for the boys. And yet, they are still trying to maintain their innocence by saying, no, we're not guilty of what the DA and the grand jury handed down. To this day. And so they are being held without bail at the Kern County jailhouse. And it's just amazing to think about what thoughts are going through their mind right now, and to have been arrested on the road in a camper, a Winnebago camper, only goes to show that they were appearing to be evading law enforcement at the time, March 1st. At the time, I believe they got caught 7 p.m. California time on the road and was apprehended and brought in, booked and processed. But like most of you, I thought about these folks right here. Not only Jacqueline and Trezell West, but also the search warrants that went to Potomac Avenue, to Wanda and Philip West's home. The search warrants that were issued to collect evidence, not only for interviews, but to collect the kind of evidence which I believe will show up also at the trial. Evidence of the van seat. I'm sure they've collected evidence from that to determine possibly whether the boys actually sat on that seat or any remnants of DNA was collected from that seat and why it was put back there. But what we do know is that the direct evidence of the video surveillance footage of December 21st, 2020 will be used as direct evidence as to their story, their statements that they made during that press conference as to what they did the early evening of the 21st. Also, direct evidence of the 19th being seen here early that morning, taking 4 boys with them Christmas shopping, leaving California City, California to go to Bakersfield. Hence, they may have forgotten that if they did any shopping, whatever store they went to, I'm sure that the police had investigated the video surveillance footage of the stores, the parking lots, streets they may have crossed and covered, other places that they may have been during that time up until they returned home that afternoon, all without the boys, will be used as direct evidence as well. And so, yes, they deserve to be found and buried properly at minimum. Yes, Jennifer, they do. And the least that Jacqueline and Giselle could do is just tell these folks where these children are. They were the last people with them, so they would know where they are. No evidence, no other evidence as of yet that we know of says otherwise. Somebody definitely picked them up. No, I don't think so. Because there's been no proof that somebody else picked them up. Chief John Walker could not identify how those boys got out of the yard without assistance, any assistance. How both tracking and cadaver dogs were used, but didn't get a hit outside the gate. So what they do, just vanish? This is what Jacqueline and Giselle wanted everybody to know. Yeah, they just left. And in a way that is unexplainable. So now, out of all that time, they're in court. Now they're going to face the judge with attorneys that were appointed by the court. And hope that the defense for the both of them can hold this story together, which I think is already fell apart from the very first time we saw them at that press conference. How do you put that story's pieces together, knowing that that is also going to be used as direct evidence because it was a statement made by the both of them to the public regarding the boys? Now, the DA, Cynthia Zimmer, I'm sure that when the investigators from her office, along with other investigators working on the case, brought to her attention all of the evidence that was collected in order to zero in an area that pointed to second-degree murder, I'm sure she was absolutely happy to have finally had the evidence to go to a grand jury, to have those folks, regular folks like you and I, take a look at the evidence, present it to them, and come up with confirmation to indict for second-degree murder on 2 counts. Felony child abuse on 2 counts. And then obviously falsifying an emergency, which is the lowest of them, but to come up with the big card, the murder charge, that says a lot. And I'm sure it still it's still resounding with a lot of us. It's still connecting with a lot of us to even think that those boys are gone. And in a way, so cruel, vicious. The words that were used in the indictment, that 6-page indictment, were incredible to read. And I'm sure that most of you have located a copy of the actual indictment, read for yourself, especially the startling part of a minor being involved in the commission of a crime. Whether it was the abuse part or the murder part. Just to even see that Jacqueline and Trezell had a minor involved in the commission of a crime. It's totally mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Children killing children now. Being made, forced, coerced, threatened to do so. I know that Cynthia Zimmer is definitely appalled at that, as we all are. The defense attorneys for Jacqueline and Trezell, in their recent press conference, only made it known that they weren't really talking too much about the boys and the defense that they're looking forward to actually giving or rendering to Jacqueline and Trezell. It was more directed and geared at attacking the DA for making the claims, the compelling claims based on the indictment that the grand jury handed down. Would you believe that? Absolutely unbelievable, but yet it's going to let us know in great detail everything that they have to chop down. They have a very big mountain to climb with damning evidence, direct evidence as well as circumstantial evidence that's being used in this case. So we look forward to getting information on the readiness hearing to get over to you, as well as we're preparing to lock on to that May 23rd date concerning the starting of the trial, which is going to be all eyes in the nation, in our country, in the nation will be on this case. And I believe justice is going to prevail. And I believe that I did also mention too that I'm still feeling that there's going to be other indictments coming down. I'm still feeling that. If they do, great, because they need to get them all. Every single one of them that had a hand in this, outside of Jacqueline and Trezell West, they need to get done too. Direct evidence that the defense has got to deal with is obviously the van transportation that was used going back and forth between California City and Bakersfield. And how that van was used and in what ways that van was used will come to light. Be used as direct evidence in this case, as well as the video surveillance footage, as well as the depositions and testimonies of 50 witnesses not a couple, 50. All of the information from the FBI and the special investigation team that had to dig up that backyard, only to shortly thereafter find that the boys were never there, will also be used as evidence. The landscape, ground search, resources that were used to examine both the interior and the exterior portions of the house, both side lots adjacent to the property. It's all coming together. At the same time, too, we did talk about, in our last live, we shared with you some information that was handed down to us from Kay Smalls and Miss Heather in regards to a civil matter outside of the criminal lawsuit against Jacqueline and Trezell West. And that is the biological father and his mother are suing Kern County, the Department of Children's Services, for negligence and wrongful death. And also, the biological mother is a part of that case. She is also a defendant in that case. We were able to read a lot of the complaint, the court complaint, was made by the attorneys of both Charles and his mother. And some interesting things are being said there. And there was a lot of broken communication between the biological mother and father during the time the boys were originally taken to go into foster care. And that's what that document covers. So that happening simultaneously to a criminal investigation and then now a criminal trial that's coming up is going to be very interesting to see the two of these in combination with each other, because both of them have one thing in common: classic and sincere. So there is a lot going on two sides, two independent cases concerning our boys. So a lot of light is going to come to the forefront. And a lot of people are going to need attorneys in both these cases, but yet we'll be able to see how everything comes together, crystallize together, and help us all to understand the cause and effect in this particular matter. So if I didn't get a chance to cover any comments tonight, you know, when I get into working in the background here and trying to get everything up and running, I had a little bit of a freeze thing going on. But thank you, Mr. Boss Blake, for being there, co-hosting tonight. I know that Miss Q said that she was running a bit behind. She's working on several projects, but she said she was going to try and make it. And I said, look, do what you got to do. You know, I got it covered. You know, we're going to, you know, get everything that we need out there. And I'm just glad that Mr. David Robinson was able to join us and give us an update and go over a lot of what he's been able to accomplish. And also, we're looking forward to more updates concerning Classic and Sincere Pettis. Those boys need justice. It's been a long time coming. 14 months, and now we have to wait a little bit longer. But you know something? It's going to be well worth the wait because we already know where Jacqueline Trezell West is. They ain't going nowhere now. And we ain't got to worry about them being a flight risk because the judge already took care of that. Also, the DA has taken care of a gag order that was issued. That locks security in place to shut down anybody from tampering with this. Speaking to the public, leaking things and whatnot. So she was very smart in doing so because she wants this case just like we all want it, to get justice. And in her compelling statement that she made during the press conference, that's exactly what she said she was going to get. I believe her. I believe her. I know you did, Mr. Boss Man. I know you did. And you did an excellent job. I'm just so glad to, be able to have you and Mr. Robinson, have that conversation. Because, man, if I would have had that issue freezing up and nothing's working and I'm getting all these pop-ups going on, do you want to wait or do you want to escape and exit? And I said, no, I can't do that because it'll pop me out. Boop. No sooner than I looked at that screen, it knocked me off. But thank you, Mr. Bossman. I tell you, see, God put us together tonight. God put us together. But hey, he's back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had a little something I had to handle, man. I had to drop off, man. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about you.
Oh yeah, I kept you on. You gonna get my whole view all the way through. I never drop off. I had to drop off the panel, but you still going in my background.
Right. Oh, cool. I thought you might
Yeah,
have had a phone session or consultation. I said, "Up, he's off and running," but you held it down, and I certainly appreciate that.
Anytime, man. Anytime. That's what teamwork is, man. You feels me.
There you go. There you go. And as we said on your last live when we were together, yeah, it's to be the example of everything you want to be. Just be the example, and let reciprocity take its course.
Most definitely. That's big facts.
Yeah.
Big facts.
Any comments or that you'd like to make concerning Classic and Sincere? Because I know it's going to run deep with you.
Oh yeah. I've been waiting for this day to come to see those two get arrested because it wasn't a doubt in my mind that they was guilty. I know they still haven't been charged, but as far as not charged, but put behind bars for it. We got to wait for the court case and all that. But I feel like it's been a long time coming, and what I feel on how it came to this point, I just feel like the grandparents said something because the person that Trezell is, I don't think he would have told anybody else, as far as what happened besides his parents. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like he kept Jacqueline super close. You know what I'm saying? As we can tell, he looks like he's a controlling dude. So if you think about it, when have we heard from her parents? We haven't. Mm-hmm. Because I don't even think she have because he won't allow it. You know what I'm saying? So of course we know they say, they made the kids do it. I wouldn't put it past them. But the fact that the grandparents said that they saw them kids on the 19th. Yeah. You really think that they gonna sit there and go to jail for their son for some stupid mess like this, some evil mess like this, unless they're actually evil themselves? No. We gonna tell. We not going to jail for you, son. We want to live out the rest of our days. You made this decision, you deal with it. Because like I said, when I looked at AV Watchman, he did a video, I want to say a few weeks prior to the arrest. Well, I think they had the detectives, the police was at Miss Wanda them house. I don't know what for, but it's such a coincidence that a few weeks later, they went and got our son. That's just my opinion. Nobody have to agree, but that's what I see.
Right. Yeah, because so with something like this, with the boys, going missing, and either Jacqueline or Giselle or both not being able to say anything to anyone, not have a confidant, someone to have mentioned something and searching for a solution to that issue. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And to may have been, they may have been coached. We don't know, but I got a funny feeling that there was some coaching there, and it may have come from that household. Most certainly, I feel that. That's my opinion. I feel that, and the first people you go to, mom and dad, maybe even his brother.
I mean, let's think about it, John. If your kids come to your house, your kids got 6 kids, and they bring you 4. Aren't you gonna ask what other two are?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. That's what I said too.
Like, wait a minute. I'm supposed to have all of them. What other 2? You know what I'm saying? So, whatever his explanation was, because I don't really think them kids was even with them at that time.
Yeah. Or they may have used the excuse, or they even may have used the excuse that to say that they were over Jacqueline's family's house at that time.
Yeah, which we know that ain't true. I bet
Yeah.
I bet you. The one thing that makes me wonder. Now, of course, you heard about the story about the new couple. Now, I don't know if they found them 2 kids yet or not. Someone said they did. I haven't heard that anywhere. This is a young couple. They can have kids. The obvious reason to me is why they're adopting kids for the money. But you notice that they keep adopting 2 kids at a time. Have you noticed that? What? That's weird to me.
Yeah, definitely.
No, this is weird.
And the interesting thing about that news clip with this new couple that makes the claim that their kids were being taken care of by Jacqueline and Giselle out of foster care. Questions will, why they're coming up with this now?
Exactly. Exactly. Me and 50 talked about that same thing.
Right. Why are they coming up with this now? So that's going to be an important aspect, because if any of it's true, that's going to show up in trial as well.
Most definitely.
And whether, because she said that, what were the ages of the children that she had mentioned? 10 and 8.
You talking about the new couple?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah,
and she
10 and
5 years.
Yeah, 5 years, right? 10 and 8. And I said, okay, could the 10-year-old be the oldest minor that may be involved in the criminal case against?
Shit. Oh shit! I just thought about that.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to find out once this trial gets started, where that piece is going to fit into this trial or not. And if it does, oh my goodness. And if any of it is true, that the minor was used in the commission of either the murder and or the abuse or both, you know, it's going to blow my mind if that's true. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
You do you think that the kids said something when they took them and put them in, I guess you could say, protective custody from these idiots? Do you think they said something then, or they just saying something now? If they said something then, I just wonder what took so long. Or were they just stacking up more evidence, more evidence, more evidence because they couldn't take the kid's word for some reason?
Right, right.
What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you bring up a good point. If the investigators had found out early in the investigation from the children, any one of them or two of them, old enough to speak and understand, not to be intimidated by these strangers that's walking around with badges and guns and stuff like that, asking them all kinds of questions about the household that they lived in and what was going on. Who's to say whether they were able to say anything at that time or whether they slowly let that information out and the police had to really vet their statements, to a point to where they found concrete or substantial evidence to support the statement.
I
So I'm
mean,
looking at the time factor in that too.
yeah, I mean, because they had a lot of evidence that went against what Trezell told them. You remember, we always talked about this. Like when they looked at the footage from the neighbor, they they, they didn't match up with what they said happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How many people
Hmm.
you said left? How many people you said come back? It did not add up. So I always got frustrated when I feel like they didn't do nothing at that point. You know what I'm saying? Did
Yeah.
they not respond to that evidence because of the blurry footage? My assumption, I thought they probably went and got the goddamn camera from the guy himself. I'm pretty sure it looked a little better than what we saw. So that
Right.
confused me.
And there was a video that I saw. It seemed to be a quick one, a 30-second video clipping of the house directly across the street where Jacqueline Trezell is standing right now. That
Oh,
video was captured from that house camera and also is going to be used as direct evidence.
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Wow,
30
only 30
seconds. Yeah.
seconds.
Yeah. Well,
30 seconds.
that was what was released, but is there more? Did they capture what they were doing on the 19th? Did they capture what happened on the 20th? There before or thereafter? That we are not that we don't know.
So
But
have you seen this footage?
yeah,
I ain't see this. I've never heard of this.
yeah, yeah. In fact, I believe either LV United We Stand or AB Watchman or AB News Crew had the 30-second clip on their channel, and it was a quick clip, and it shows you that the house across the street had a camera which was activated shooting the front of Jacqueline and Trezell West's house. I said, well, damn, there it is. Well, where's the rest of it? So it tells us that there was another camera operating. That's for sure.
So that 30 seconds really didn't have nothing incriminating. It was just to show that.
Right, right.
Okay.
They just wanted to show us that there was a camera that was on across the street, whether they knew it or not. And so, if police had confiscated the neighbor's video footage like they did with the neighbor on the side, then that may hold some incriminating evidence. Like I said, we hadn't seen it, but that may hold direct evidence on it as well that Jacqueline and Giselle don't know about. So it's going to be
Man.
very interesting.
Well, I'm glad Bakersfield took over because I just didn't see nothing happening with Cal City, man. With they 13 officers.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad that they were able to line up with, they say when the FBI is involved in any one of these cases, like they did Gabby Petito's case, and work that case like we've seen them work that case up until obviously, we found out what the result of it was in one state, and then in Florida with Brian. Them working behind the scenes in this particular case, I can imagine what additional evidence that they were able to get for the district attorney to put down on the table to 50 witnesses. Somebody, and you brought to my attention too that there was a statement made by the DA, Cynthia Zimmer. Let me see. That there was during there was some emotional interviews or something like that. Right. And you had asked me, John, I wonder who was the person who was emotional. You want to take a guess at who was really emotional? And I thought about that, and I said, oh man, I said, I can just imagine. And what came out of that testimony, or what came out of that deposition.
Yeah.
Because they knew the jig was up. It's over.
Exactly. And that's why I'm at the point I'm at. Because, a kid, I think it's not going to get to the emotional standpoint like a grandparent would. These kids just don't want to go to jail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really think they had spun enough time with Orson on, Classic and Sincere to even develop that type of bond to get emotional. If they did have any emotions, it's because they didn't want to go to jail, which I feel like Trizelle put the fear of God in them. If you say something, this is what's going to happen to you. That's right. That's how I see it.
Right. But sure enough, I look forward to this trial coming up. And I hope they televise it. I know you're going to have it on your channel. And and I'll join you, for that, so that we can make commentary on anything that, we want to make commentary on. There'll be plenty of it, that's for sure.
Don't get stuck in traffic this time, John.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I damn sure did. Oh, man, I'm supposed to be live with Boss Blake. Wait a minute now. I'm not supposed to be where I am right now.
Hey, the verdict, it made me forget all about that because it was a great day that day, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And to know that that case got hands down book justice was great. It was an awesome feeling. I mean, we were feeling it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Hell, I know I was.
They coming for Jackie next.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But we shall see. But I appreciate you coming on board tonight with me to co-host Q Square, and hopefully everything is okay with Miss Q. I know she had a lot going on in behind the scenes, taking care of some things. She did mention to me that she would try to make it. I said, you do what you got to do, no problem. I'll hold it down, and I said, okay, I got to make a phone call. Guess who I called?
Yeah, man. I come when I can. I appreciate you for having me, man, and salute to everybody in the chat. I'll keep fighting the good fight, man. And I think when is the trial? Is it April?
The trial date?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been posted as May 23rd.
Oh, May. Okay.
Yeah, we got some time. They're supposed to have a hearing date for readiness. Either it's going to be, either it was today or it's going to be tomorrow, which is now today where we are. So we'll listen out for that. Where they stand before the judge and agree to readiness. This is more for the defense than it is the DA's office. So we'll get to hear confirmation from the defense to say that they are ready and prepared for the upcoming May 23rd trial date.
Right.
So far, they came out of the gate kind of like you kind of scratched your head. Why are you talking about what the DA said, rather than you talking on behalf of your clients? Not once did I hear any of them say that Jacqueline and Giselle are innocent. I was waiting for that statement. Our clients are innocent and we will prove that. I was waiting to hear that, but it never came. So I said, uh-oh, sound like a problem.
It gotta suck to be they. Well, I mean, they're gonna get paid regardless because they was appointed. So, but it's like, what the fuck can I say? as a lawyer who's defending these, you know what I'm saying? But
That's a good way to put it.
They probably looking like, damn, I just had to get paid some kind of way, so I'm gonna take this check. But y'all going under the prison.
Yeah, definitely. But we're
I
gonna.
ain't gonna hold you live up no longer, man. I just want to come back up here because I had to do a little couple of things. That's why I had to drop off. But
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Appreciate the rebound, and we will be doing a simulcast for David Robinson, father of Daniel Robinson, for the candlelight vigil that's going to be held this Saturday, March 12th. We're going to get a time slot, and coming on, Miss Q is going to be boots on the ground with Mr. Robinson out there in Buckeye, Arizona.
okay,
And,
salute. That's what's up.
Yeah, so when I post the live, I'd love to have you and Miss Yunu, Renegade. He's been a little feeling under the weather
Yeah, I've
lately. I
been
hope
wondering where Randy was at.
feels better. And Miss T. Sophia, I know we'll have our champions, Miss Aquahoma and Miss Camille, Leslie B, 12-Step Woman, and a number of other moderators for that special simulcast live that we're looking forward to doing on Saturday. So once I get confirmation, I'll text it to you.
All right, that'll work. And if y'all don't mind, y'all make sure y'all say prayers for my mod, April Smith. She lost 3 people in 1 week. She's been
April
also
Smith, right.
Yes. And so y'all, if you don't mind, just say a prayer for her, and I would definitely appreciate it. And again, salute to my mod of the month, 12. Yeah. I'm gonna get up out of here,
Yes.
John. Appreciate you for having me, man.
All right, boss. We'll connect up.
One love.
All right, one love. You got it. All right. I want to also thank Miss Jennifer Nobles for joining us. She is always here when John Q covers Classic and Sincere. Much love to you and the family. Boots on the ground, Miss Roro, AV Watchman, AV News Crew, LV United We Stand. All of the folks that have put tremendous time, effort, energy, money, resources these past 14 months for Classic and Sincere, out there looking for them. And so now we've come to a point to where we're continuing to look for these boys. It's not over. Search is not over. That's for sure. The trial may begin. Yes, but the search is not over until the boys come home. We have to bring them home now. And bring them home so they can have a better resting place, a final, more respectable resting place, other than where they may be right now. And with that said, for those of y'all still hanging with me, much love to you. And yes, it's just the beginning. You got that right, Jennifer. It's just the beginning. And now we're going to get down to the brass facts. The facts that should have been on the table a long time ago, but I guess we had to travel this journey in this way, down this path to get where we are today. It's far better for this case now than the Summer Wells case, and we're still looking for justice on that case, because that case needs justice too. She needs to be found as well. So if I didn't get to your comments, I promise I won't make a habit of not getting to them. But I wanted to make sure that we covered what we needed to tonight. We'll have follow-ups pertaining to both the cases that I'm working on, and we'll have open discussion, open commentary, as we normally do. This is my way of making up for missing your comments from some previous lives. But nonetheless, I hope you all have a blessed night. Stay tuned. Things are going to get very interesting for both of these cases as we get into the prayer vigil that's going to be happening on Saturday for Daniel Robinson with Mr. David Robinson, and the upcoming readiness hearing for the boys, and then the trial on May 23rd. And we'll be here. And I know you will too. Most certainly. So to all of you, as I always say at the close of my lives, be well and stay blessed with God's speed. And much love to Miss Q, wherever you are. I know we'll connect, and we'll get things done for Saturday. And with that said, take care until next time we do it again. So let's get to work.
Listen, y'all made my day really go well. It's been very, very positive. But then you're gonna, pop out in the wrong way.
Break it down.
Don't feel bad about that.
Take your power of attention into Q squared.
Nothing makes sense. Period. We know we got people in the shadows.
Someplace else within. Break it down.
Go get my people.
Period.
Ain't hard to do the math, what the realest, so you know they in your head. It's Q squared. Every damn case we try to crack, we take a lot of feedback from the chat. You know it's Q squared. It ain't a secret, and you know just where we at. You know it's Q squared. That's John Q, Miss Q. It's a rap, it's a rap.
Q squared. The one and only, incomparable. The one with foresight, strength.
I didn't hide that shit.
I bring you Miss Q.
And Mr. John
Q holding it down.
You hear something come from Q's mouth, and you say Q said it. Period.
Let's get it.
Y'all know what time it is, right? Let's do it.
It's time to go to work. Break it down.
Let me see them 8 balls. Let me see them 8 balls. I need to see them locks and keys, man. Put them in the chat. We want to thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Q Squared, man. Make sure y'all tune in next Wednesday. We back at it again.
It's time to go to work. Q squared.